Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Bill.
And Jack again. Hey.
This is take 2. I forgot to record on the first one. But we're back up and running here.
We only got about 45 seconds in, at least. It wasn't like it was...
I'm not that bad, thankfully. Yeah.
It wasn't an hour in.
The perk of having all this shit in front of me is I can keep track of everything that's going wrong.
Yeah.
And I know when to bail if we need to.
God, let's see if this is running. All right, here we go. And...
Test audio.
This speaks to me. Is it bad I like this?
You know, music's subjective. Is that a dude or a chick singing?
Yes. It's a dude.
Excellent answer.
Definitely swooped haired, ready to ride.
Yeah, I figured as much. Tight jeans.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we were saying before, the guns are out because I am coming directly off the highway from vacation. Mere hours ago, I was poolside.
In the Great North.
The Great North. Yeah, up at the Dells.
And due to your lack of milk tolerance, you didn't get any cheese.
No. That's everything else, though. A lot of pretzels.
Oh, yeah.
Pretzels came with like every meal.
Beer cheese? A lot of beer cheese?
We could have rode with that, yeah. Just real hearty shits, though. I was taking...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It was...
I feel like Wisconsin food is very similar to like that Eastern European, like, brick food, you know? Like, it's just everything is dense, and when it goes in you feel it, and you're just like... I'm bogged down right now. Like you're like you're anchored down wherever you are.
And I found myself so last night I found myself like force eating also because like our whole thing was like there's a little grocery store in the downtown.
Were you purging and eating and purging and eating?
No purging. It was all staying in.
All right,
but we went to this little like grocery store in the middle of town and just got like base stuff for the room, like munchy shit.
Right. Yeah.
Whatever the
snacks and whatnot.
And then we'd eat at restaurants around the area, whatever. And, but we'd come back with leftovers. And their whole thing with, like, whatever we were getting, we were trying to make it not be perishable. So it could make the trip back without whatever. And if it took us a while, because we get kicked out of the hotel by whatever and, go from there. So, we loaded everything up and we were good to go. There was like a little thing of pasta sauce that we had to throw out, and like a couple little other things that just wouldn't have made it anyway. It would have gone bad on the way back.
Just eat it on the way back.
Yeah, just shoveling pasta sauce.
Yeah.
God, yeah. Well, the thing too, it took us 4 hours instead of the normal like 3.
Oh,
there was like construction.
Yeah.
The 2019 Honda Insight rerouted us with the nav thing that's on the car. Shaved off like half an hour. Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to make it at the time we did.
Oh, okay.
We had to like from the highway. We snuck off, got off of, and drove through a town called Edgerton, and then. All the way, and then all the way through Janesville and got back on there. We missed like the entire block of highway from.
Like I've definitely done that before on some apps. Yeah,
so it was just right outside of Madison, I think, to there, and that whole block was missed from the main highway. It was It was weird.
I think I do remember driving through that construction when we were in Madison.
Yeah, we got like 20 miles away, like west or something, and then somehow. We're cutting down back. Also. Yeah.
I think we might have done something similar. I can't remember.
I don't doubt it because it was treacherous in that spot.
Because there was even like a section of like, it's pretty bad. I remember, now if I remember correctly, the last time which was recently we were there, we did get rerouted to get off the highway and then take like these weird like country roads. Yeah. For like a good minute, and then you just get back on. You're like, all right.
And you just pop up. It was like there was a Beloit sign, and you just followed that. And all of a sudden you were there.
Yeah, that's the same one.
Then you ended up doing the same route as me, which was really funny too, because so much of that traffic is coming back from the Dells to Illinois anyway. Home. So you're seeing a bunch of Illinois license plates, some Michigan scattered throughout, but eventually there was like a whole row of cars just like behind us and in front of us, and it's all Illinois plates.
Just trying to get home.
It's all the same routing for them. So all of a sudden Edgerton just has this parade of Illinois vehicles just running through it.
Like, get the fuck out.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They did not like that at all.
We don't want you here.
No, they had a cop staked out in one spot because all of a sudden like the middle, it's one of those things where like the middle of downtown's like 20 and everyone's coming off the highway going 75.
Yeah. It's like, one of those speed traps.
It was perfect. So, but yeah, other than that, just rocking and rolling, and I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's all running around stuff too. Like that's not like a vacation where you're like necessarily laying out. Like we're like doing shit.
That's good.
The entire time. So
did you get any custom T-shirts made or?
No, we were looking though. Boy, were we looking.
What else? Fudge? Did you get a lot of fudge? No, you can't fuck with fudge.
Peanut butter fudge.
Okay.
They do peanut butter fudge. Jess took the video where, from kind of the reference to the episode though, the like fudge shop, t-shirt shop, Ripley's Believe It or Not.
Yep.
Yeah.
That section.
We were right in that pod. And
yeah, you weren't far from where we were.
No, not at all. And it was a good weekend for it too. There wasn't a lot of people.
Really?
Yeah. I think most kids are like going back to school, so a lot of that element wasn't there.
Fair enough.
There was a lot of bachelorette parties, like just pods of like bachelorette parties floating around.
That doesn't seem like the kind of place you'd want to have a bachelorette party.
I
mean, if you want like a low key one, I guess
suppose
that makes sense.
it's a place where you can drink and do kind of kiddie shit without the threat of like a stripper necessarily. And like
I'm sure they're there though.
Well, there's what's the fucking?
I don't know the policies of strip clubs in Wisconsin.
There's one called Chasing Chubbies or something.
Ooh, all right.
Yeah, I forgot exactly what it's like. There's a ad for it, like driving through the middle of the Dells, like as you're heading out. It's called like it's not chasing fatties directly. It's like chasing chubbies or something.
Chubbies.
Yeah,
Right.
And it's like 30 girls. We open at 5 p.m. It's like, oh, I'd hate to see the Chasing Chubbies 5 p.m. girls
On a weekday.
Yeah, the ones that are like opening the night on a Sunday. It's like, ooh, all right. Yeah.
D Squad, E Squad.
Yeah, I gotta look that back up actually and make sure it's exactly what it is. I wanna, maybe they'll sponsor too.
That'd be great.
Who knows?
Yeah.
So happy to hear that the song that I wanted got flagged. Congratulations.
Yeah. So I forgot what episode that is now. I think that's like 107, 106. So if you guys have been paying attention, at the end of every episode, we've been doing a thing where kind of plug our show more or less it's mainly for YouTube, but it kind of translates pretty well even into the audio aspect of everything, which is kind of nice, which was a happy accident. And I'm trying to have it so that every ending has like a fun song, not necessarily fun song, but just some song at the end. Because originally I was doing our intro and just doing it over again. I was like, that'd be kind of boring, because then it would go right in. If you're listening back to back episodes, which I don't think too many people are because these are so fucking long, but on the offshoot chance that you are, it'd be weird to like the intro ends and then it starts right back up again.
Have the riff end and then
we
start anew.
Probably be
it's a lot of shredding.
The cause of a lot of like suicides after if we did that.
So was that song all you though? Like programming it?
No. So that was Mikey from the band Boardworm.
Okay.
From just around the Flint, Michigan area, where they're from.
Nice.
And he's a fan of the show. And we're a fan. He has a show. I don't think they've posted anything in a while, but he has a YouTube channel called Double Fisted Double Feature. Okay. Where him and his buddy, who's the singer of Boardworm, essentially watch two movies, like bad movies. A lot of which I've seen, and and they just talk about them. And it's really fucking funny.
Those are always fun, though. I like bad movies in that regard.
And it's a great show because he edits it really well and has fun with it. Yeah. And super talented guy. And so he was just like, let me do an intro for you. And I'm like, all right. And he also did our logo. So he's like a huge fan of the show, which is awesome. Yeah. I wish we could somehow return the favor, but I have no graphical art.
There's nothing you could trade him.
Yeah. And even my writing is not that great. So it's just like, he's got us on that. So but we do appreciate it. So thanks, Mike.
Thanks, dude. So if you want to finish that with the flagging, then that's fine.
But so in episode 106 ish, because we were talking about
Thunder in Your Heart.
What was the movie?
Rad.
Mm-hmm. And you brought up the song. I was like, all right, I'll find it and I'll put it on there, which is not hard to find. It's on YouTube.
Yeah, readily available. So if this got flagged, then
and just ripped it, put it on there, and used it as our outro. Mm-hmm. And as soon as it got uploaded to YouTube, it was like flagged. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
But plus, we're not in trouble for it. It was just like, there's a couple countries out there that owns like, the copyright information or whatever. And
so it wasn't even like the U.S. complained or like
maybe, but apparently like nobody cares though,
right?
Which I didn't know that was a thing. I just assumed that anytime you're using like music that they would just be like, don't do it. But this one was like, everything was green on YouTube. I was like, you're still good to use it. You can mute it if you want. But you made a good point where I think you're right that if this show was big enough where we actually like monetize the show, then they'd probably be like, yo, let's get a cut. And if that's the case, I'm going to be like, I'm muting that part. I'll edit that out.
The gag's not worth it.
Not worth it,
Us just talking about the song is fine.
Lord knows that if we ever get to the point of monetizing and then they catch up with us, we're probably not going to be making that kind of money.
I was
So
gonna
I'd be
say,
like, man,
yeah,
sorry.
if you make
we
one-
need every penny to go back into
Literally
this.
pennies.
If
I
we
was going to
can.
say,
Yeah.
you make 1 penny, they will take that.
Right. And it's like, you guys share that. And like, sorry,
Turns
we
out-
need that.
Yeah, it turns out John Farnham is unbelievably litigious.
Right. Turns out his lawyer is actually my drummer, and be like, fuck.
And here I thought it was just like, after 30 years, it's pretty much common law. Just use it.
No, I don't
be
think it
hilarious.
works like that at all for music.
Oh God, no. But it's the
Or
idea
maybe like, I don't know, because aren't there like classical pieces that are essentially like public domain?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's been so fucking long.
Yeah, and I'm not pretending I know any of those laws behind it. I'm more making a joke because me
Right.
bringing up that song is more pub than that song has gotten in
Yeah,
at least
right.
a decade.
I'm
Like,
sure. Hopefully, people checked out the song like by itself.
check out
and
the
give it a couple
fucking
hits.
movie, man.
Yeah,
It
that
is-
too.
whew, if we're talking about bad movies like that Boarworm dude and his show, like that would be
Yeah.
primed for that. Even though a
Well,
lot of this
it was
committee
kind
already
of
did it, but
it'd be a bummer.
yeah, it's kind of hard to pick it apart after that. But I would, I mean, I know there's plenty of bad movies out there too, but they kind of have they have to sift through some stuff now that there's other podcasts that kind of do that. So
Yeah, it's funny because I've been listening to a podcast nonstop. I've talked about it on here before, but it's called Double Murder, and it's like a buddy of Gabe's and like there's two dudes that do essentially they go over like horror movies specifically, which I'm like, fuck, I wish I did something like that because I love movies, I love talking about movies, and I do watch my fair share of horror movies. And it's funny because like as I'm listening to them, like essentially they're reviewing movies, and the idea is they pick two movies. Usually it's a remake and the original, or it's two movies that are similar in premise.
okay,
And they pick which one's the better of the two.
okay,
And they're good because they have very strong opinions about stuff, and rightfully so.
yeah,
Like for instance, which always cracks me up is they utterly hate Rob Zombie's Halloween 1 and 2. Like fucking hate it. And I've always heard episodes later them like they'll bring it up every once. They're like, fuck Rob Zombie, fuck that movie. I'm like, Jesus.
the whole so House of a Thousand Corpses too, or
Yeah, they don't like anything he does.
okay, there's definitely a diehard swath of people. Like
Oh yeah,
that.
no, they acknowledge that for sure. And I finally listened to the episode of Halloween where they talk about like that's where it starts, where it starts, where they start talking about
Yeah,
it.
so like
And,
the original Carpenter.
Yes, yeah.
And then
compared to the Rob Zombie one,
Oh, boy.
which like that was another thing. I was like, man, I don't think I could do a review show on that because even though I do acknowledge that Halloween is not a great movie and that the original is vastly better, I still really like that movie.
Yeah.
And like even listening to their reasoning, which they're totally right in their reasoning for it, and I totally understand why they say what they say, and it makes sense. But it's just funny how much they fucking hate it, and like I was like, oh man, I still like it. I still find it like
it's ballsy to even attempt to do. Like for Rob Zombie to have done it in the first place is like that takes some fucking cajon.
you really got to have like your ego at the highest it can be to be like, I'm gonna try to attempt Carpenter.
Like the fact that movie is also like one of the ultimate horror movies.
Oh,
Like,
it's one of the most iconic.
It's Mount Rushmore. It's like that, probably what, The Exorcist? Like,
right. Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Nightmare on Elm Street.
yeah, if we're talking slasher,
Like
like,
the old
80s,
school-
like take Exorcist out of that, then
Yeah.
for slasher crap, it's
Right,
like that's the
it's-
top
those
three,
are-
and then
yeah,
there's a
for
distant
sure.
fourth. So like to try and like Friday the 13th, they did so many that they kind of cannibalized themselves.
It definitely like
Nightmare Before
collapsed in on itself for sure.
And then once Freddy
but they
fought
did
Jason,
remake
it was-
it.
yeah, they-
and it
oh,
was
yeah.
Michael Bay,
Oh God,
which is
was
crazy.
it?
Yeah, because
For Friday the 13th.
yeah, Michael Bay
Oh God, they
produced
remade
that.
all of them then, right? Because they did.
Yep,
they
Nightmare
did-
on Elm Street.
Yeah, Nightmare on Elm Street was also
all around the
wretched.
same time,
Yeah.
kind of too. And they do have episodes where they talk about all those. And but they're the dudes are interesting because they're a little bit older than me, so their knowledge of some of the older stuff is a lot better than mine. Like I've watched all the old stuff as a kid growing up just because of like my cousins.
Okay.
A lot of it hasn't retained. A lot of it I haven't really gone back because I'm the kind of guy like that's another reason why I don't think I could do a show about reviewing stuff because like I just like consuming
Sure.
all things like movies, all things horror, like anything like that. And more often than not, I don't totally like, even if I think it's a god awful movie, I'm still like, it was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Like no matter what. I mean, there's only been a handful of movies in my life that I've like not made it through, or I've like gone through and I'm like, holy shit, I can't believe I watched the whole thing. Like,
yeah,
nobody should ever see it.
I've never walked out on a movie in theaters.
I've never done that.
Never.
No.
There was one close, Dreamcatcher.
Oh, really?
I came real close then. Yeah.
I can understand that. That was another one that once again, the premise and everything was like cool, and like I liked the actors in it and everybody involved, but that was definitely a letdown of a movie, for sure. I think I've watched it maybe twice.
And I was spoiled then because it was when I was in high school when that movie came out, and this girl I knew, she probably wanted to sleep with me, but it never came up.
It was because of Dreamcatcher.
Yeah, Dreamcatcher.
Man, this guy like Dreamcatcher.
No,
Can't fuck him.
See, I didn't even find her attractive. That was the thing. But she worked at a movie theater, so it was one of those things where she had like two passes a week. So,
if you get to see it for free, then you can't complain totally.
Yeah, so there was like a 6-week span where like her and I were just going and seeing a free movie. I would love that. It was that was a pretty cool little swath of time, and then we just sort of stopped talking, but probably because I didn't fuck her.
Gosh, I would love that hookup to be able to go to a movie theater like all the time for next to nothing, if not free.
Yeah, especially if you don't work at the theater and you just get to.
Because I love, like, I'll go to any movie in the theater almost any movie. I kind of draw the line on like romantic, chick flick kind of movies. Like, I'm a dude through and through, so it's hard for me to be like, oh, I love these. Like, I might watch one every once in a great while just so I'm like, let's make sure I'm not a total sociopath. I do feel something. I'm like, okay.
Oh, yeah. See,
but even then, I can't even take off the top of my head the last like movie like that I've seen.
Yeah, there's a bar, but like, I can watch How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. It's got McConaughey. It's looking damn good.
Is that the famous one with like the cards at the end?
No, that's Love Actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, I don't know.
Yeah, it's all, and those are two that actually have like held up. I mean, there's some real trash in there that's
I'm sure.
awful.
It's any genre of movie.
Truly, my level of giving a shit is pretty much just like, well, they got it done, so that means something.
That's something.
They created they set out to do something, and they did it, and they completed it. Allegedly. You hear some stories of like, these like totally hurried production things and like they cut corners and shit.
Right.
That's one of the big things on How Did This Get Made. It's like, they had to cut like 45 minutes out of this and none of it makes sense and like all that other shit. And like, so that's terrifying. But like, to me, it's just like you put it on a reel that will now play and that's cool enough. And that's kind of where my bar's at.
More than most people can do.
Yeah. I've never I've never really had. Whereas I had more of a discerning taste for music, never had that with movies. Movies is literally just like, I would like to turn my brain off, please. And then kind of whatever happens in front of me happens in front of me.
Yeah. So I've been doing a thing now where I like more often than not don't have a lot of time, and when I'm at home, I don't really want to watch. I don't want to be like too invested for a long period of time with something. Like it's pretty limited. It's usually like, maybe I have an hour to like watch something intently. Yeah. And then after that, I put on something to help me go to sleep. More often than not, it's usually some stand-up that I've watched a million times.
Yeah, I can
That's
do that.
Like my ASMR, basically.
Or you're like, I can do, episodic crap that'll just autoplay Office for however long it's still on Netflix. I don't know how many times I've done that with like Parks and Rec episodes.
Oh, really?
Like just let that play like 4 episodes.
So like every weekend I try to watch like a movie and try to watch something I either haven't seen in a really long time or something I haven't seen.
Okay.
And that is an interesting rabbit hole just because like the only streaming services I have are Netflix, Amazon, and Hulu.
Which is still pretty
It's a pretty good substantial amount of like material out there, but like you can go down a rabbit hole of some pretty shitty stuff. Really fast.
You don't have proper cable, do you?
No, okay. I haven't had it for years.
Yeah.
I just don't need to. I'm content with that because like I don't really take in enough stuff like that to justify having it.
Yeah, I don't have the time to.
So I always find myself watching something every once in a while. It's nice to go back to something I do remember, just to kind of like be like, oh, is this still good? Does this still hold up?
Right.
No, like more often than not, no.
Yeah.
But and then the other thing that was great about that podcast is there's a lot of horror movies I hadn't seen in a long time where I'm like, ooh, after hearing him talk about it, I kind of want to watch it again.
I hope they do. If they haven't yet, I hope they do Child's Play now that they remade that too.
No, they haven't done it yet. They probably will soon.
I'm sure they will, but
they're pretty. Sorry, guys, but they're pretty inconsistent with their episodes. I think they try to do once a month, but it's few and far between. If you look at the dates, it's crazy how much of a
it is.
like I thought we were bad sometimes, but they're pretty bad with it, which is a bummer because I do really, really like they've been doing the show for a long time, but they only have
like 40 episodes or something. Yeah,
maybe 50, which is crazy.
Well, it took you guys, even Jason, what, like 4 or 5 years to get to 100?
3 years.
3 years to get to 100.
A little over 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. And we knocked out 100 episodes. Yeah. Technically, we should have had 100 episodes within 2 years, but
yeah,
there's breaks here.
If you were doing the weekly episodic stuff, but yeah, you guys had
which,
some gaps.
I mean,
stuff.
we have our periods where we have been consistent with it, and then all of a sudden something happens where it's like, all right. But I think it's half like scheduling, half like burnout too.
Sure.
Not that I don't know if I've ever really been burnt out by doing this. I think it's just I get lazy with. Well, we didn't do it this week. Let's not just do. We can just get away with it for another week. You know,
nobody's listening.
It's like
that type of crap.
We're still getting plays here and there. You know.
I mean, as long as somebody's catching up, it's good.
Yeah. But. So I like Nate texted me the other day and was like, "Yeah, I'm all caught up in all your episodes." And I was like, "I find that hard to believe, but that'd be awesome if he is." I don't know. Like, I mean, that's a lot of material out there. Like, if
especially now that they're like 3-hour clips.
Oh, they're so fucking long.
Yeah, dude. Like,
so anybody that keeps up with it, thank you.
Yeah, and
that's crazy.
And I feel like it started like right around my first and Arton's first, like in the 60s.
That's kind of where all of a sudden the dam broke, and we're like, "Fuck it, let's keep doing it." And I remember
like, there's ones with you guys where it's like a strict like hour, and you guys are like in, out.
Yeah, because I remember like. In the beginning, I kind of was like, oh, well, let's try to keep it short because most people don't want to go on with these long form podcasts. Yeah. But at the same time, what's nice about this kind of medium is like you can go back and forth whenever. Mm-hmm. And it's great with these programs because it just starts you right back where you left off, you know, so you don't miss a beat. So that's convenient.
It's also like you don't even kind of realize that much time has passed when you do one of these. Like when you get to it,
we hit like a fucking time vortex with this show. Yeah. It's weird.
Like you look up and all of a sudden it's at least been like an hour 45, and it's like, okay, but I haven't even talked about 2 things I wanted to mention.
Right, like in the back of your head, you know, there's something you want to talk about, but it just goes, and then you're like, oh fuck, we've gotten this far.
Yeah,
like,
and I don't want to forcefully shoehorn anything in, but it's still like pretty fascinating to think. And I mean, yeah, it's all for the most part like guys, you know. At least, so there's going to be some ability to do that pretty naturally,
right?
But still, too, it's such a without there being some sort of distraction. You know, there's usually like if you're in the van for hours driving with those guys, people are going to be at least on their phones.
Yeah.
So like even if you're talking or shooting the shit or whatever, there's bound to be some dark time where like all of a sudden everyone's kind of like.
Yeah, the weird lull, which it definitely happens more now because of cell phones.
Exactly,
like,
So you got the phone lull there, and then just like, you know, or you're at a show with guys and like you're all grab-assing and then the music plays and there's a big break.
Right.
You know, like this is one of the few things now where people are just going to be like having a full, unbroken, unfettered.
Which doesn't happen anymore. No, like, I mean, it happens, but it's not as like... Like I remember growing up, like God, like here we go, old guy talk.
Yeah.
Like growing up before, like, you know, cell phones do what they do now, and like you would just hang out and like, well, here, man, so many. This is the problem with the show. So many things go through my head when we start bringing up stuff. But
you can only play Snake on the Nokia for so long.
Oh, I used to play so much. But no, it's you know, like growing up before cell phones became what they are now. You know, like there was a lot of times where it was me and my friends like sitting on the front porch just talking about whatever.
Yeah.
And some of the best times ever, just shooting the shit like that. And nowadays it's very difficult. Like people just want to sit on their cell phones 2 feet from each other.
Yeah.
And it's a bummer. But what's great, like I've noticed whenever, and it's going to happen again. Well, this is weird because this episode, so yeah, for those of you, it's going to be weird because we're backlogging episodes right now because I'm going to be gone in September, and I want to make sure that
something
is being scheduled and going, so I don't have to worry about while I'm in Europe.
Yeah.
I just want it set up and walk away.
Yeah, so this is like August 11th. So if something happens between now and when it drops and we just aren't talking about it, that's going to be why. So if like,
so this will be out in like September, like mid. Or not even mid, it'd be like late September or October, actually.
Shit, okay.
Which is kind of weird to think about.
Because you leave right after your birthday, you said.
Yeah, either like the day of or the day after.
Okay.
I'm not sure how long it takes for us to travel where we need to go. But yeah, going back, like with the cell phone thing, which I have my buddy coming in town in a couple weeks. Like, I love it because we all get together, we go to the bar, and nobody has their cell phones out.
Yeah.
Unless it's like, you got to check out this fucking cat playing piano.
Right.
Then it's like, oh, it's funny.
Yeah.
But for the most part, it's amazing how we revert back to how we used to be, where we all just kind of sit together at a table.
Yep.
And we just hash out. It's like this.
Yeah.
I think that's why I like doing this is because my favorite moments in life that aren't music related are those moments where I'm with my friends just telling stories.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. Like we've told the same story like a million times, but
Doesn't
every
matter.
fucking time it's so funny, or somebody has some other perspective of it where like, you don't understand. Like this guy was like this, doing that. And you're like, holy shit, I didn't know this whole time. You know, like, and that's what I love about it. And I think that's why I like doing this show like the way it is now, where it is turned into a conversation. And I've gotten like one of my favorite compliments about the show is people telling me that when they listen to it, it feels like they're here with us.
Sure.
And they're like part of the conversation. Granted, they can't.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's I know there's moments where people are yelling at their phone or screen. They're like, "You fucking idiot! It was this thing."
See, but that's the part of those types of conversations that I miss too. Is like, remember when people wouldn't have the answer?
Oh yeah.
Like somebody would just ask a question like, how?
It's like, does anybody in the group know? Anybody?
What's
Anybody?
the fucking circumference of the Earth?
Right.
And people would just go,
I don't know.
And then it would just kind of float out there, and maybe you'd get to it later.
Maybe
now,
somebody else figures it out.
Now some smart ass will literally be like,
What's this?
okay, it's that. Like,
There's no mystery of life anymore.
Exactly. Like, you don't need to.
But you don't even retain that stuff.
No, it's immediately gone. Like, it's not like
every time when somebody asks a question like that and you get the answer off your phone, you're like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Fucking 20 minutes later, if you ask that question again, nobody's going to remember.
No.
Be like,
no.
nope, I don't.
In fact, that would be
look it up again.
That would be a really funny thing to test out. Because, you don't need to actually, like.
You don't have to be smart and retain information.
Yeah, you don't have to retain that anymore because it's technically on the phone. It's stored on the phone.
Like
so
your phone is like a backup brain, you know, that you can access.
Yeah. It remembers way
anytime.
More, it remembers all the numbers that you can't anymore. And, you know, they say that old adage too, like how many phone numbers you actually have memorized. And it's like 4, 5.
Yeah.
Tops.
I used to have a lot because I had an old phone, this old Motorola. In order for me to text, I had to put the number in manually.
Wow. Okay.
And as a result, I had so many numbers memorized. Like I had everybody in our band memorized.
Yeah.
And then like a large group of my friends memorized in order to text.
Wow.
What a hassle that was. Now it's like,
Nothing.
it's like boom, 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 just check mark. All right, text all these people. Just end of that.
Yeah. For the love of God, make sure I'm not like including somebody I wasn't supposed to. And leave it at that. So, oh God. Anyway, here we go.
What do you got?
Nothing. I kind of love this song. It's like if Coheed and Cambria moshed and was bad.
That's accurate.
Yeah.
I don't even know what you would. It's not even. I mean, that's kind of like falsetto, but
yeah, I think
not really.
I'm frankly, I'm
That's
impressed.
an interesting register.
Yeah, like just Catatonic Youth's coming through with so much clutch stuff. So
oh, see, it's doing it again. Where only the left channel is coming through.
On this,
Jiggle that thing or something. Yeah.
Oh, really?
I don't know.
So now the gag doesn't even work. You already heard it. It's fine.
Well, it works. I might have to just put it in mono. Not that needs to be in stereo.
Would it
That's
be great
for
if
sure.
that got flagged too? Like that band was like, nah, man, you got to.
So far, nothing has been flagged as
From
far
this
as
shit, yeah. No.
because it's all local shit. So nobody
Well,
has copyright information for that.
I'm shocked then that the Amelia Clark one didn't get popped.
I'm surprised by that too.
Yeah.
Or the one you played a bunch that kills me. The two girls.
Oh yeah, the Cradle of Filth.
But I guess they're singing loud enough over it that it's not.
You can't hear it.
Up.
Yeah. The fact that it's one from a 33-year-old movie about motocross biking. It's unbelievable. It just makes me so happy.
Of all the shit,
dude. Yeah, but that movie you got to find if you can. That's
pretty
worth it.
fucking rad.
Yeah, if you want like a good like
movie.
sub 90-minute thing to just pass out to, 45 minutes in, wake up
Rad.
20 minutes later, completely not like lose where you are. Like it's perfect for that. And then you just hope you wake up to the prom scene where they're dancing on the bikes and
Jesus.
you're good. Yeah. Like literally, you would think they're almost fucking on the bikes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like pure gorgeous choreographed thing, and they're just on they're on the handlebars, just like gliding through the dance floor. It's like it's one of those like montage like dance scenes from crappy 80s movies where where like the crowd moves from the floor, and instead of like break dancing or like some breaking shit,
they're bike break dancing.
Yeah. Bike break dancing. Yeah,
It
for
is
lack of a better
insane.
term. It's so good.
That's definitely, that's got to be one of those, like, nobody's done this before. We're going to be the first ones to do it.
Yep. No one will ever have to do it again.
It's definitely going to hit the mark, guys. Definitely. There's no way it can't. It's so unique.
Yeah. I think, what big actor is in that? I already, like, Lori Loughlin is, like, young, is in it.
Really?
Yeah. She's, like, the attractive ingenue love interest. She's also apparently, like, the best BMX racer in the country at the time. Like she's like Mongoose sponsored and shit, but she never is actually, she's in the dance part. Like it's implied she's one of the ones dancing.
Well, what shows like neck down.
Yeah, it's
and
one
then
of those
her head
dudes.
up and she's like, for
sure. It's
terribly edited.
Yeah, it's really great.
I love those moments.
But other than that, she never actually formally bike races.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Like she's not in the actual race at the end where the John Farnham song plays. None of it.
Nowhere to be found. Of course not. Yeah.
No, she's standing off to the side rooting on the guy in the movie. So
that's another thing that bums me out about my consumption of all things movies and stuff. And like I go down the rabbit hole of like listening to commentaries and reading trivia and like learning about like how they do the things they do. And it really takes me out of a lot of stuff where like I notice those kinds of things where it's like, oh, they edit it out because like this person can't do whatever it is that they're doing. And I remember I ruined, not that it really mattered, but that show Iron Fist, the Marvel show on Netflix.
Yeah. Now long pulled, I would think, right?
What's up?
They got rid of all that crap.
Yeah, they all got canceled, and rightfully so. That stuff was going pretty down the drain pretty fast.
Well, isn't it all because it's owned by Disney now too? So it's all going to go to that app. So
no, the shows are just done because they did so poorly.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
okay.
they were. You never watched any of them?
No, that was also like Luke Cage.
So Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, Iron Fist. It was those four.
Daredevil, I remembered. I thought that was doing pretty well.
That was the best of all of them.
Yeah. I watched a couple episodes of Daredevil. And then,
it's good. It's a really good show. That dude Charlie Cox is really good at the character and stuff like that.
Punisher, is that a different universe?
Oh, that is an offshoot of the Daredevil series.
Okay.
And but they don't bring him back for like the Defenders thing. And so because like all those so Iron Fist is the worst of them all, and it's a hard show to watch to begin with because the actor that plays Iron Fist is not good. Very unbelievable, very unlikable, and like just very flat as an actor.
Okay.
And but yeah, the reason why I ruined it for my dad because I was like the problem with shows like this and having an actor like they got, and the only reason why they got him because he's a Game of Thrones actor, and he's not even one of the main ones. He was like Sir Fartface's brother,
Lancel.
I can look it up. Yeah, look it up. You'll find it really quick. Obviously, the guy can't do the fighting choreography needed for the show.
Okay.
And I told my dad, I was like, if you notice, anytime that guy is gonna fight, he'll have a hoodie, and the reason why is they put the hood up so you can't see who's actually doing the action sequences, and they do that with those shows all the time. Like Daredevil's the easiest because the dude's wearing a fucking costume, so you can easily swap out the actor.
But this guy's face is there.
But they always fucking do, and you can tell like immediately when it's like, oh,
Loris Tyrell. Okay.
That's it. Yeah. So you know right away, you're like, oh, there's gonna be a fight sequence coming on because the dude's wearing something that's gonna obscure his like face and head. And my dad was like, oh, I didn't notice that. And then like the next day, my dad was like, yeah, I noticed that right away. I was like, yep. I was like, sorry.
You're welcome. Yeah, that is a very minor character, in fact.
Extremely. Yeah, I think he's only one season for a couple episodes, or 2 or 3 seasons, but just peppered in.
Yeah, he sleeps with Cersei Lannister in a weird incestuous thing. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Because Jaime goes away, they're fucking because Cersei just kept it in the family. Right? Yeah. And then he's the one that becomes
the like
religious zealot with the pentagram thing in his head, and and
it gets blown up with everybody.
Yeah, spoiler. Yeah, for season 6, I think, of Game of Thrones.
But but going back to those Marvel shows, they all like. Everybody's first season, with the exception of Iron Fist, was like a pretty solid first season.
I didn't even know that existed. Was that one season, Iron Fist?
No, so they released a second season.
Okay.
Because like I'm trying to think when it all was coming down, where they were like it's canceled.
Yeah.
but a lot of them were in production when they got canceled.
I was going to say, I feel like they canceled them all in one fell swoop.
Pretty much. And so they're just releasing the last thing they just released was Jessica Jones season 3.
And that did fairly well.
That was a great show.
Too.
I liked that show a lot.
And I like her.
Really good. Yeah, Kristen Ritter's awesome.
Yeah.
She was a perfect casting of that.
Okay.
The first season of that is like one of my favorites.
Okay.
It's fucking phenomenal. The bad guy is great. It's David Tennant from Doctor Who.
Nice. Okay.
And he's a phenomenal actor. And he's the last person you expect to be as evil as he is in a show like that. And you're like, holy shit, this guy's a piece of shit.
Perfect.
And it's awesome.
Which
He
is what you
kills
want it to be. Yeah.
Exactly. It was a real surprise. Second season falters a little bit, and then the third season it was just like, what are we doing here? Like, it didn't need to happen, you know. Like, but obviously they had it done, so they were like, we got to release it.
Just dump it.
Yeah. It was a bit of a letdown.
You would, oh god, and Netflix could have saved so much money by not doing that. Like, if they thought this was coming long term anyway.
I think their intentions were right. Like, they were like, this has got the chance, because like I said, everybody's first season, with the exception of Iron Fist, was pretty fucking strong, and it was like, all right, I can get behind this. Like,
but I must have misread it, because I thought it was just they had to get rid of all these because the Marvel stuff is going to initially, because it's going to initially go on there. So
no, it's a separate contract, which is why in both like the Marvel universe of movies and these TV shows, they can't directly say specific characters, but they can allude to them.
Wow.
They never do in the Marvel movies because they're like, fuck you, we're too big for you.
Yeah.
But in the Netflix shows, they'll mention stuff about like, oh, the big thing that happened in New York, implying the end of which one was that? The first Avengers, or like stuff like that,
or
like,
I hope those guys got avenged.
Yeah, it's just
like
dumb shit like that. Like there's weird little like nods to the movies, but they're never direct because they can't.
Wow.
Because they're contractually obligated to not be a part of that, but they are.
Okay.
And it's like, it's weird how that ties together, but not really.
Well, that's going to be, if we're talking about the streaming services, that's going to be a huge one. You saw that news, right?
What?
Hulu is going to do a tier thing that's going to be Hulu, ESPN Plus, and the Disney app when that unloads.
Oh,
and it's going to be $15.99 a month.
And you get all of those?
All three. So you're going to get all the Disney shit, that whole backlog, instead of having it separately, where you have to pay like $7 a month for that service.
But all these streaming services are getting out of hand.
It's becoming just cable in a separate way. But the Disney, but that Disney thing was supposed to be a game changer anyway, because all that shit, like every parent is going to need Disney crap, so they're going to go there regardless.
Well, they also own everything.
Yeah. So like, I mean, if you want all your Star Wars shit's going to be on there, and anything that they do when they expand that.
All things Fox.
All things Fox, Simpsons are going to be on there.
A lot of good movies through there as well.
Yeah, so that's like...
It's all going to be under their umbrella.
Yeah, and it's a true game changer with it, especially because a lot of the big things with Netflix that aren't a Netflix property are getting pulled from Netflix because all the other ones are starting their services too.
Well, they made that announcement, and they were like, you have like 1 year to watch The Office until our contract is up.
People lost their fucking minds.
Before you have to get the ABC app, I think, or NBC.
NBC for them.
Yeah.
Same with Friends.
That
was the big...
I never watched that show.
Right,
but yeah.
Considering that story broke too, where they paid $100 million to keep Friends on there.
Right, isn't that crazy?
It was clearly worth it. Like, they wouldn't have done that and pumped that much money into it if it was a return on the investment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So if it's worth $100 million, think of all and considering how hard up they are to do original content now.
Well, yeah, they did that because they were prepping for this,
you
know?
Like this.
Netflix has been smart about
getting ahead of it.
Being ahead of all that stuff, which is interesting. Because when I go through my Netflix feed, they always have the little N logo, the Netflix logo.
Yeah.
And it's on every fucking thing I see.
Yep.
And I'm like, holy shit. Like all the movies, all the shows, it's just nonstop Netflix. I'm like, oh, that's what it's coming down to.
So unless you're going specifically to your list.
Yeah.
It's good. The algorithm is now going to be generating the shit that Netflix makes that is close to the crap that you like.
Which I don't mind. I've been liking a lot of the stuff that Netflix is pumped out. Like, speaking of like the horror, like sci-fi stuff that I like there was that new one with Rose Byrne, Hilary Swank, and who was the other girl in it? I can't remember. But essentially, it's like in the future, and like this robot is like her mother, like surrogate mother, and like taking care of her and like trying to keep her away from it. I liked it a lot. I'm sure people shit all over it, but I thought it was really cool.
They released like
that was a good Netflix original.
I don't think it was a Netflix original, but it was like some Spanish horror movie that supposedly did super well.
It's a woman's name.
Yes.
Jason talked about it and fucking trashed it.
Okay.
I would probably like it. I want to say it's like Amanda, but it's not that. It's like something with an A. I could have sworn.
Yeah, that apparently was like a huge deal. That was one,
really.
Yeah, but I don't know if I don't think they produced it. I think it was just like one that they got around. Like
I think more often than not, they just purchase a movie and slap the Netflix name on it and go from there. Because there's some stuff that is produced by them, and then I think there's other stuff they just bought the rights to.
Yeah, their niche,
especially the like foreign stuff that's easy to do.
Yeah, their niche now is going to be like horror that they're pumping out. It's going to be maybe some episodic stuff, but even that's kind of teetering, depending. Because I mean, they did the Orange is the New Black thing that crapped out.
Yeah, that's over now, right?
Yeah, they ended it now. Okay. Yeah, and like any.
Did you watch that show?
First three seasons.
Okay,
it's not bad.
It looks interesing. I like the people that are on that show.
Did you watch Weeds? Because it's the same creator.
Yeah.
Okay,
so that show
Weeds crapped out around season 4. Yeah. By all accounts, this did too. Like it's one of those things. They killed.
I thought Weeds crapped out at the end of every fucking season. Like,
okay.
Way because like what that bummed me out about that show was like it. At least like so the first 2 seasons, like if going into it, you're like, okay, this is interesting. You go from there, but it's the same fucking thing every time where it's like massive cliffhanger.
Yeah.
And then it gets resolved within the first 20 minutes of the first episode of the new season.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, why the fuck did you even set that up?
They do some real high stakes shit every time.
But they blow it over so quick. Like it never plays out in the next season. It's never like this long thing. It's just like, all right, on to the next part. Yeah. It's so bizarre. And I feel like that happened every fucking season. That's what kind of ruined the show. I watched the whole show front to back. Yeah,
okay. I did not. The second, I think it's the end of season 3 when Agrestic burns down.
Okay.
And she's like, I think that season ends with her escaping the house and like the whole area.
Right. And like she's supposed to go into hiding because like they're all after her.
Yeah. So I basically stopped watching. It is season 4 from what I remember of that show. And she's like owning some business, but the cartel has like a secret tunnel running from the back of the business.
America to Mexico.
Yes.
Yeah. And that's where like she meets the drug cartel guy.
Immediately when I stopped watching.
Yeah, I don't blame you. That's another one where like I said, the way that show runs is like it gets to this build up of this massive thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, like what's gonna happen to her? And it's like she could be fucked the next season. And then like the first 20 minutes of the next episode, it's like, all right, we're good.
Yeah.
She's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
On to the next story.
She'll get out of it. Yeah.
She's
not going to die or anything.
Fucking weird. It's so like very just cut and go. Like
so Genji Cohen created that one. I think she created Glow too, and so far
Glow is fucking phenomenal.
I love Glow.
That is
season 3 just dropped. I want to watch that too.
Did it really?
Yes.
Oh,
season 3 of Glow dropped a couple days ago.
No shit.
I love Glow.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite shows. Like. Everybody on that show is so great.
Yeah.
Like Mark Maron is like so fucking good on that.
A really good actor.
He is. Yeah. He's surprisingly a good actor.
Considering he's known in like the stand-up world to be a bit of like a curmudgeon-y dickhead, you know, and like a little bit of a pompous dude from back in the day.
Right.
He's got like, especially in season 2, he's got like heart. Like season 1, he's just like supposed to be a dickhead. Like
he's
that's
kind of
his,
Marin.
Yeah,
for sure. And there's little hints of him, like, oh, he is human, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and it's at least like kind of charming, even though he's a shithead. So kind of like me. But like season 2, he's got like a heart, and it's like, oh, okay, you're a person.
Well, that's a great showing of like how they build the character up and expand on it. You know, it's not just a very singular idea, and they're like, oh, just keep it going.
Yeah,
that's what I like about that show.
Yeah,
the initial so good.
Like. Yeah, and it was initially just the gimmick of like a show about wrestling. So I was like, okay, I'm in this.
Right. Yeah, that alone is probably good enough for some people.
I was like, that'll draw me in. And I like because
do you know anything about like the gorgeous ladies of wrestling?
Yeah, they
like,
did
there's a documentary about it.
I watched that too. That's on Netflix.
That was really interesting.
Yeah, they tied all that crap in too. Yeah. And because of that, you can YouTube some really old episodes. Like it's terrible actual wrestling. Like if you're
I'm sure it's rough around the edges for sure.
It's meant to be.
Right.
Very much so. It's very cut and dry, and they do lean into like stereotyping in
Well, yeah, because that was in the 70s?
80s.
Okay.
Yeah. And it ran for like 3 seasons, and it was doing pretty well at the end, but they just couldn't fund it anymore because it's an expensive thing to produce. Wrestling shows are expensive to produce.
I believe it. Plus, like,
especially on like a grand scale, which that wasn't even.
Oh, no. But I mean, that's something that's predominantly women in the 80s, and nobody's going to back that.
Yeah. And none of them are, and they're all terribly trained, so they were getting savagely hurt. They go into that in the documentary.
It's really sad. Yeah. Some of the women in there that, like they're showing them now, and you're like, holy fuck. Yeah. Like, they put their all, like, literally put their all into it. And then because of it, they are immobilized because of all the things they did. That's the story of
any wrestler, period. Like, those guys, like, it's a fake sport, whatever, but, like, the shit that they do to themselves and what they're doing, like, you can't fake them landing on any of the crap they land on.
It's so beyond physical. Yeah.
you can decide who wins and who loses, and you can call out what move is done, but those moves are still going to have a effect going forward. Which is why we're recording this without Gobo, so he can watch SummerSlam.
Right, that's why he's not here.
But when I record with him, I'm definitely going to bring up wrestling shit.
Oh, you should, yeah.
And the fact that I'm dragging your ass to a show, hopefully.
Yes, I got to get tickets for that, so we can go. But the other thing that's really sad about wrestling that I didn't know until like a couple years ago was just like how many of those dudes have passed.
Yeah.
It is staggering how many dudes are not alive.
Yeah.
Because, like, for me, I figure it's like, oh, they retire because they're old. Like, that happens, right? But then you go to look up the list, and you're like, holy shit, no. Like, all these great dudes I remember growing up, like, watching, all of them.
If you put, like, any of the N64 wrestling games on, half the roster's dead.
I believe it. Yeah. I totally believe that. It's crazy. Like, I remember just the other day, I was, like, going through IMDb, which is, like, my favorite fucking website of all time. Yeah. I stumbled onto the old wrestler Vader, whose real name was something really funny that I was just like, that's not intimidating.
Leon White.
Yep. Least intimidating name.
Yeah.
And
Boy Meets World.
He died. Yep. Yeah, that's why, because I was looking at Boy Meets World. And
he died a year or so ago.
Quite some time. Yeah. And
this is actually a Vader shirt.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow, what are the odds?
Or a tank. Excuse me. I'll pull it up in a sec to really. It's metal as fuck.
It looks like almost like. What am I thinking?
It's like a Minotaur.
Danzig almost.
It's like Danzig-y, but it's like a Minotaur also. So what this is actually is, and I can kind of
we got video so you can see.
Yeah. When Vader wrestled in Japan, he had an incredible, and I think a little bit when he was in WWE, brought this over too. He had a really ornate headpiece that he came out with.
It wasn't just the weird strap thing.
No. Oh yeah, he had the strap mask.
Okay.
But he
also had a headpiece like that.
He came out wearing this. It was like massive shoulder pads and this big like Minotaur head thing.
Reminds me of was it Legion of Doom?
Yeah, it's got a little bit of that vibe too. I'll pull the photo up too, but and it would smoke out the top, like out of the ears or the horns or something. Like it would smoke, and he's walking out, and he's this 400-pound like fat white American dude. And he was athletic as fuck. He could do moonsaults and backflips and all this horse shit.
Very bizarre to see a guy that big do that.
He was a pro football player at some point too.
Yes,
like he was a professional. Like he was an athlete, so like inherently he can move around a little bit. And he's quick twitch shit and all that. But so he came out with this headpiece, and then he would take it off, put it on the ground. The thing would continue to smoke, and then he'd go in and like start the actual mask. Yeah. So that's what this is. It's a guy I found on Instagram called Kaiju Clutch, and he does like these limited run like shirt designs and shit. Most of them are wrestling related.
Are they not licensed? Is that why?
Yeah, it's like his own designs, and he takes the pre-orders, and then he'll just print out whatever
as quick as possible. Then gets a cease and desist, and then stops.
And I heard about him when I went to All In, that thing at the Sears Center a couple years ago now, because it was like it was a really badass looking. Well, it almost looked like a black metal shirt, even though I don't really do the black metal crap. But the back of the shirt had a Japanese wrestler named Jushin Thunder Liger on it.
That's a mouthful.
Yeah, in a dark, it looked like a Dark Throne album cover.
Okay,
but it's got Jushin Liger like on the back of it, like posing in this throne, and like it's really brutal looking and whatever. To the point where the guy like came up the aisle, and we were like, "Where the fuck?" And he dropped this dude's name, and he did this one, and I liked Vader.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like I knew him, as a kid, like through Boy Meets World and all that shit. But he was a monster, and like one of those big dudes that it was insane to watch him be able to do this
jumping
shit
off the top rope and doing stuff. It's pretty crazy
for his weight, like legit 350 easy.
Oh yeah.
And probably when it got real bad, probably close to like 400.
That was one of the things in his trivia on IMDb. It was
Yeah.
like how much shit he got from like the WWE about his weight.
Yeah, because especially back then, because in the 80s, those guys were all basically just like glamour models and like just muscle dudes.
Right. It was
And
a lot
all
of like
them
the
were on-
muscle. Yeah.
It was all roids and shit. It was like Lex Luger shit. All the just jacked blonde dudes that are all 6'6", 300.
I liked it
pure
when it was
muscle,
like that total Midwestern.
Yeah.
Just before out of shape looking dudes, like those are the best.
Yeah, that's why I like these.
Love those guys.
That's why I like the little local shows, like the one I'm trying to drag you to.
Oh yeah,
those guys
it's
are
like that.
all
I love
just
that. That's
chubby
great.
little dudes
just
that are just
fucking
trying
dudes
their
just
best.
doing it.
Just
you know?
making
Yeah.
like $40 a match and like letting it ride. And I'll ask Gobo when we record the one with him, because like you guys, because they do, and I brought this up off air, but like you guys can be like the fact that he doesn't know that this group does this with bands in between.
Know.
They're
Maybe he's working up the courage to ask us if we want to do it, which I'm totally for. Yeah. So what's the company that does it?
They're called Kaiju Attack Wrestling.
Okay.
The booker, I think, is based out of like Berwyn or Brookfield or whatever. I've seen like the
Somewhere in
geotag
the
posts and
area.
stuff. Yeah, he's in this area. And this was the one I brought up before where they run out of the wire and they do a bunch of shows out of the wire.
Yeah. So Wire and
Berwyn.
Berwyn, right off of Roosevelt Road, somewhat close to Harlem.
Yeah. So they run shows there, and that was where I first saw them. And like they do a bunch all over now. They're kind of hopping all over. There's other places that are interested now, but they pull fairly well at the wire here and there. Like they can pull like 100 people at that venue.
That's awesome.
Which is pretty good.
Better than I can do there.
Precisely. Yeah. Better than anything I would have ever done. So, and I've been there where there's like 10, and I've been there where there was legit 90 to 100.
What is the draw? Like why was there a bigger draw at that one as opposed to like another one? Is it a wrestler that people really like?
It's weirdly hit or miss.
Or is it just good timing?
Good timing.
Yeah. Okay.
Better promotion, I think.
Fair enough.
I think there was one. So there's been a couple, this new wrestling promotion that's starting on TNT next month. Called All Elite Wrestling.
Yeah, I've been seeing that pop up a lot. Yeah.
So they're the main guys that run that were wrestlers that put on that all in show that I went to.
Oh,
and now
interesting.
they're doing, but that was affiliated with a different company called Ring of Honor and like a couple other things. It was more of a mishmash, and it was really just to be like, can an independent show sell out a stadium? And they did.
Oh,
and
wow.
that was the big gag. And then they've now started this company called All Elite Wrestling that is now owned by the guys that own the Jacksonville Jaguars. So they've got some crazy backing. They immediately got a TV deal with TNT. They're going to be
that's awesome.
Look, so
there has to have been when was the last time that it wasn't WWE?
When WCW closed. So
how long ago was
it's
that?
been 20 years.
What? That long?
When
really?
ECW and WCW both closed and were bought out by WWE, it has been WWE's thing.
I thought it hasn't. I didn't think it was that long. Really?
Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah, 2000-ish.
So yeah, at this point, everybody just wants probably something new.
Something newer. Yeah. And like that Ring of Honor group, like they do very well. They were well known as a different option, and they're owned by Sinclair Broadcasting now. So there's a multi-billion-dollar corporation too. But
that's awesome. So they got all the backing and stuff.
Yeah, but they don't pump that at all like what this All Elite thing is doing. So they're running at Sears Center now. They're doing All Out, which is now an All Elite Wrestling show at the end of the month that I'm also going to. And that's going to be a massive pay-per-view. It's going to be what starts.
That's crazy.
Their last show.
That's amazing that they did that.
Dude, it's
good for them.
Sears Center put up a plaque outside the building for All In. Like,
no shit.
Because it was such a big deal to them. So now what it's looking like, without speaking for them, that they're going to remain very loyal to that building because that's where they did it.
Yeah.
And now
where they got it from.
Yeah.
That's
so
awesome.
now All In or All Out or whatever variant of it, that's going to be their variant of like WrestleMania. So every year they're going to run that building in Chicago, and
that's cool.
Yeah.
Huh.
And the demand is there because I was in a queue for the Sears Center on their website trying to buy tickets to this thing.
No shit.
And the queue got up, like people were posting photos online. The queue was like 65,000 people deep.
Whoa.
They could have conceivably sold out the Soldier Field with the demand of who was actually trying to buy tickets. I had my iPad and my phone going at home. So I was connected to Wi-Fi. There shouldn't have been any connectivity issues, whatever.
Yeah, you get that landline, dude. That's where it's
I know.
at.
And that's where everyone else got me too. So I had one, and I got in at the exact same time. One of them I was like 11,000 in the queue.
Holy
the other one I was 18. the guy I'm going to the show with, who I work with, he tried also, but from work. So he had limited thing. He was like 27,000. Like it never got anywhere near us in terms of getting these tickets.
Right.
I ended up getting them on a secondary site. So
right,
if I come
up type thing.
Yeah, it's called, we did Tick Pick is a off-brand one. They don't do any fees. The price that's on there is just,
interesting.
You pay that.
Oh,
and hope to God these tickets are legit.
Don't they need those fees to help everything run? Fucking assholes.
Yeah, not that site apparently. But yeah, so this is like a massive thing now with this particular company. It's bizarre. But so there are a couple people that are on the roster for AEW that were wrestling independent shows and did shows with this little Kaiju Attack Wrestling thing.
Oh, cool. So they got to go up and get into that.
Like their first show, I saw a female wrestler who goes by Kylie Ray, who was on their first pay-per-view as a company. She's the Chicago girl. Like, I think she's been injured or something. She's kind of disappeared for a little bit. I hope she's still actually working for them. But she was like, you could tell immediately, like, this was my like bachelor party thing. We just sort of walked in off the street and watched the very first show that they put on. And she was on it. And she was like, you could immediately, even not having like a trained eye or ear to it. It's not like I know, I just like the thing. But like, I was like, oh, she's better than the ones that were before it. It's like when you see,
definitely has what it takes.
It's like when you're playing like some weird open mic venue thing and like there's a bunch of shit and there's
right.
Like
and then there's one where you're like, that person's like, onto something.
Yeah, or even like one guy in one band that like, you know, and like what we were talking about with Rudy, where we went to that open mic and there was one guy that was fucking awesome and everyone else is trash. Like that one dude, you could be like, oh, I don't even know, but I know. Right. Without having like the background in it, you can just tell like, I'm no this expert, person is but good. I know you're better than everything else I saw. So she was one of those as well. And then there's this other guy who goes by Marco Stunt, who his whole thing is he looks like a child. I think he's 22, but he's like 5.
Super young looking.
Yeah, it's absurd. He looks like his whole thing is that you could just take him and just like throw him. Like he's not a wrestler by like in look by any stretch of the imagination. He's probably like 5'3", 110. Like he is a dude. tiny dude. Yeah, so he could just get thrown anywhere, and that's kind of his thing. Okay. And
he's like what's the mutant? Not Cannonball. Like or Puck. He's like Puck. Like shoot around.
A little bit, yeah. And that's kind of what they were doing with him. But they ended up this All Elite Wrestling like signed him sort of as a little side gimmicky thing. Okay. So like I've seen 2 guys that are now on that roster for what is WWE's now like direct competition fight at the wire.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I can't believe it's been that long since WWE like monopolized wrestling. I know. Like, yeah. And I can't believe they got away with that. That's so weird.
Yeah, at least on that stage where it's that big. I mean, there was always like in the background, there's always been like other feds that like popped up to try to fill in. Right. Like if we're really going back historically, and I would love to be doing this with Gobo too, because he would know for sure.
Actually, this is going to be afterward, but yeah, he listens to the show, so I'm sure he'll be listening to this.
We might be able to bring this up anyway with him.
But we'll definitely talk about it again. It'll just be funny because but anyway, go on.
It was specifically so around that time when everyone was doing like crazy hardcore shit, hitting each other with chairs, giving each other CTE and all that crap. When ECW closed and was bought by WWE, there was all these ones that were trying to be even more violent than ECW. Yeah. One called XPW that ran out of California had a dude that was involved in porn that was like the booker and running it. And like his wife was like a valet, but she was also like a violent porn star. Oh, really? Like she went by Lizzie Borden. Like her stage name was Lizzie Borden. I don't know if that name is even familiar. No. Lizzie Borden's the one that killed her parents with an axe.
No, I know that. Okay. No, the porn star I'm not familiar with. Fine. Is that her porn name? Lizzie?
Yeah, her porn name was Lizzie Borden. She was in a porn.
Don't get me wrong. I watch my fair share of porn, but I don't know. Yeah, that name doesn't sound familiar. So you never saw Hit Her in the Shitter, Slap Her in the Crapper? Because that's one of her film titles. Holy shit. So that's the kind of shit. Yeah, that's why I've not seen that.
That's the one where she gets fucked in the ass with a baseball bat.
Holy shit. Yeah, see, I don't go that route with my porn.
And this was one of those things where like when that came out, like, you know, you hear that crap and you read it on the internet.
Can you say that title again?
Hit Her in the Shitter, Slap Her in the Crapper.
Oh, man, that's good.
Yeah.
what volume was it? Like 27?
I think it was
like,
the first.
Okay.
Yeah.
That always cracks me up with like porn titles when they're like 27, 48. I'm like,
fuck her face 27. Yeah. It's like one of those.
Hysterical.
Yeah. Jizz Mopper's 18. All that shit. But yeah, it was hit her in the shitter, slap her in the crapper. And I was like, oh, that is so fucking great. But yeah,
really
I guess
rolls off the tongue.
Yeah. No, I have not actually consumed the video, but yeah, she gets apparently, because like that was like that was just online. Like if you're into,
I mean,
like
everything's
XPW
online.
owner Rob Black and his wife, like they produced this movie and like you fall down the rabbit hole.
Hey man, you need to get your money from somewhere to produce these things.
Yeah, so and they only lasted like
produce your dream of showing wrestling.
Yeah, I'm parlaying my porno career with baseball bat fucking into.
Hey babe, can you take this bat to the shitter so that way we can have a wrestling company?
Yeah, love it.
I gotcha. Yeah, that's love. Holy shit!
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, and that company only lasted like a year or two, but they had DVDs out and stuff. Like I had a couple of those back in the day. This was like when I would have been in like middle school, I think.
Okay,
we're talking 2000s, so yeah, like right before high school. And then there was another one. This by then I wasn't even watching, but one called CZW Combat Zone Wrestling, which is actually still around.
That sounds familiar. Yeah, I feel like I've seen somebody post something about that.
Yeah, they're known for really hyper violent death matches. So they're the ones where like a guy takes a weed whacker to a dude's back and just and just cuts his ass up and shit like that.
Is that even wrestling at that point? When they're doing that kind of extreme stuff. Do you enjoy that?
I don't.
No. Okay.
There was a company from Japan called FMW.
Okay.
That did a lot of that crap. Like the exploding, exploding, like barbed wire ropes that exploded.
I remember seeing
shit like that.
Like clips of like stuff like that, but like that, I never really watched wrestling that much. Yeah. I used to. There was a stretch of time where I did watch a good amount, and this is so long ago that it was like WCW. I think WWE was WWF.
Yes, and, that was before the World Wildlife Federation actually
took over. Yeah, and but that, I mean, I don't know. You know wrestling better than I do, but do you think there is some sort of athleticism involved with like that kind of extreme style, I guess, of wrestling where like you're just getting pummeled
athleticism? No, but there's a certain skill to doing it in a way that's as safe as it can be, where you're not cutting a femoral artery and dying.
There is intelligence involved with doing that.
There's some control to the chaos.
Right.
I don't think it's an athletic skill by any stretch, but like they've figured out a way to do this
without
somebody actually dying. Yeah.
But even then, like some of those dudes, like look at what's his name, McFoley. Like he has like so many long-lasting injuries from doing that extreme stuff.
He's like surprisingly super functional.
Is he?
All things considered. Which is, there's a couple guys that have somehow gotten around it. Mm-hmm. Where,
because I've seen some of his like some extreme stuff they did in like Japan, where I'm like, holy fuck, like wrapping him with barbed wire and blowing shit up on him, like and lighting him on fire.
Those type of things from Japan, I was okay with for some reason. Like there was the Japanese, so apparently I didn't give as much of a shit.
Yeah, it's just like, well, they're Japanese. What are you gonna do?
They also don't react, like they're a little more subdued in their reactions. So when that type of shit would happen, they aren't reacting like the American guys are, where it looks like they're actually dying. So if you if you watch this dude get a weed whacker to the back, like he looks like he's getting destroyed, which he absolutely fucking is. It's an insane thing to watch. But
I don't know. That's a level of extreme that I don't particularly would like to see.
No,
like I'd rather just see some dudes like wrestle, you know?
Yes, and that would definitely be more my vein too.
Right. Because that's it's like not on the fringe, but it really is like its own thing, I guess, you know? Yeah. And obviously it's not all of wrestling, you know, and maybe people that are ignorant too probably are like, that's wood wrestling. And it's like, well, no, there's an extreme version
There's
of it,
certainly
you know?
a niche of guys that prefer that shit.
Oh, yeah. I mean, they wouldn't do it if it wasn't popular in some way. Yeah. But so I'm not denying that.
Yeah, it's not one of those. Like, there's this one called, I think they're called like Game Changer Wrestling now. They're very tiny, but they do a lot of these weird death matches ones. And they do ones that kind of run locally. Okay. And like, I've seen video because I follow some guys that go to these shows and record the stuff, kind of just to see up and coming dudes and see who's showing some interest. And if some random crap goes viral where people are taking these bumps and stuff, they call them bumps when they fall and actually hit the mat. They call it a bump. Yeah. So some of those weird ones that go viral, you'll see on there. Like a dude that goes from they say the apron, like right around like where the ropes are. Yeah. That part just outside the ropes that you can technically walk on the side. that's the hardest part of the ring because that's like the end of the board.
Yeah, because it's like concrete with a shitty little like half-inch
I'm not even talking
mat.
on the floor. I'm talking like the edge of the ring itself.
Oh,
so like if the ring's standing up,
yeah.
like when there's like a tag team match and a guy's like waiting to tag
On
in
the edge,
what he's standing on,
yeah,
that part that his feet are on it's kind of a joke at this point because if you watch a WWE thing, they go, that's the hardest part of the ring every time. So guys will take bumps on that. And it's supposed to be an extra levity of
it's like extra painful because they're hitting it.
Yeah, so there's this dude that wrestles for this All Elite Wrestling company now, who I've seen in other things. He does this move called a coffin drop, and it's just basically like a free fall, trust fall thing. Goes to the top rope, and he just crosses his arms, and he just falls back. And one of the big things that he does is he takes that bump square on that edge of the.
Geez, stop fucking on my table.
Yeah, sorry. It's better than Coke. And I'm not taking any dents out. It's just for that effect.
I don't care.
That's tungsten for you. So he does this move and he hits that edge of the ring.
Oh, I think I might have seen a video of that.
I showed it to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
His name is Darby Allin. And so the video I showed you, he's doing it in front of like 40, 50 people.
Yeah.
He's now doing it in like a stadium show for this All Elite Wrestling thing. So he does the same thing and everybody loses their mind. They're like, why would he do that? He's like,
sorry, I'm paying attention. There's a little fucking gnat killing me right now.
But yeah, so he takes this thing in like a stadium and everyone loses their mind. Like, how the fuck did he do it? I was like, he was doing it for 50. He did not care. He's just that type of dude. So like there's ones like that where you see these and it's like, okay, that's like, I mean, for the sheer like holy fuck of it, like, all right.
It's crazy that as long as wrestling's been around, that there's still like moves being invented.
Yeah.
You know, like
now so more than ever because they call it a work rate when guys are doing moves at like a higher succession as opposed to just like when Hulk Hogan used to just like flex and then do
for
like
20 seconds
and then he would do like a base clothesline leg drop. That's it.
Like, man, talk about simpler times.
Yeah.
Like that was the finisher. It was a leg drop.
Yeah, and those guys could never. Those guys could not hang. Yeah, now guys are doing like coordinated double backflips and like all this other shit. Like
it's awesome. It's absurd, but it's absurd in a great way.
Yeah,
because I mean, like it's kind of what you have to do, right? Like you can't. There's no way you could really go back to that type of like finishers, if you will, where it's like it's a leg drop, it's an elbow drop. You can't really quite do that without some sort of little extra caveat to it.
There are specific guys whose the entire character structure is that they're old school.
Okay.
So they can kind of get away with it.
All right. That makes
they're
sense.
like legit, and that's where you get into the weird character nuance of it. And that part's kind of just as fun at this point if you're, super dorky and into it.
Right.
There are guys whose entire characters like I'm an old school guy. I do it the old way, and like we've
come full circle.
Yeah, and these like new school kids,
nostalgia guys trying to. Which I'm sure they're there because it's like we got to get that older crowd.
There
back,
absolutely is in the fandom of it too.
I'm
there
sure
are guys that are just like, no, I want the fucking like flexing,
right? The old school like spectacle before, like I mean that because that stuff was fun too.
Yeah, which is why Stone Cold still holds up because it's that weird bridge point from when people like that basic crap. Because all Stone Cold ever did was stomp a dude, flick him off, stunner, drink a beer, end of thing.
What a that guy. Yeah, that dude is great watching that guy wrestle. Like
it's the funniest. Like he's looking back on it now, it's
so goofy, but it definitely like grabs your attention.
Yeah, he became with just the iconic music too.
Oh,
you hear glass break and you're like
immediately
you're clanging two beers together immediately,
and like the whole Austin 316. Like you just everybody knows it. Even if you're not a wrestling fan, you probably know about it. Yeah, talk about great character development and really honing in on your character.
So that part gets interesting too. And like the old school revivalist thing of it is kind of fun. There's storytelling aspects to it. There's a lot to like about it. Like having liked it as a kid and like through middle school and then in high school on, like fell out with it for a very long time. And only within the past like 4 years or so kind of get back into it. More on a fluke than anything. But now it's like, it's a thing and I'm, it's fun again. Like I was like,
good,
okay, but there's this fun little side element and I can know it's kitschy and I can know it's dumb and I can know there's a huge swath of people that could give a fuck less.
Right. Yeah.
But like for all those people that poo-poo it and all that shit, like, so be it. That's fine. Like, I'm not really trying to win them over. But if there's somebody like you where I could be like, dude, you should probably just go to one just for fun.
Oh, I would love it. Yeah,
and you're at least mildly interested. I'm like, I'll take you.
Yeah, I would definitely
like,
check it out. I would never. I don't think. As far as wrestling goes, I don't think I could be like, fuck that, it's stupid. I'm like, no. I understand the fake nature of it, but I understand where like you said, the fake nature really is in the storytelling.
Yeah.
Everything else is pretty fucking real, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
so I always thought that was a weird thing that people would say growing up, like, you know, it's fake. And I was like, well, yeah, like the stories are, and the rivalries of it are fake. I get that, but this guy jumping 20 feet in the air onto hopefully a person and not concrete is very much real.
Yeah, they're still
like,
willingly doing it. It's not like there's like this 8-inch pad underneath that they're safely landing on.
Right.
That you're, not
like
aware
it's
of.
very real in that regard. And I it's so weird that that's always such an argument for people to like not like wrestling.
Yeah, because the easiest part is like literally any TV show you like is fake.
Yeah, if you really get down
TV
to it,
is not
that's beyond
reality.
fake. Oh, I was just talking about that because I did work for, what was his name? He won the first Apprentice.
Okay.
Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on the dude's fucking name.
Bill something or other.
Yeah, Bill Rancic.
Yeah.
And his wife, who was
Julia
Rancic.
Yeah.
I did work for them.
Okay.
A couple years back when they were living in Illinois, partially, and then also LA.
Because he was a Chicago dude.
Yep. Yeah, he's from Chicago. And when he won The Apprentice, he ended up working on, I believe, Trump Tower.
Okay.
It was one of his projects for winning or whatever. And so I had to sign a contract saying, like, if my face shows up on camera,
you're cool.
You can use my likeness and all that. And I was like, yeah, go for it. And so that was like I already knew that like reality TV is a very fake thing for the most part. Most of it is now. It's not like it used to be.
Yeah.
And so out of the like 2 weeks I was there working on their kitchen in this insanely huge house. It was like, I think it was like 14,000 square feet. He bought the house for $1.3 million because it was a foreclosure that he got for $1.3 million in Hinsdale.
Okay.
And I don't even know how he got a hold of us. I think it was like his contractor contacted another contractor that we did work for, and they were like, we need somebody to do these cabinets. Who do you got? And he's like, got the guy, Fay Furniture. Hit him up. Yeah. They're great at what they do.
Did you just make an Instagram for that, by the way?
I did. That's the one thing I can plug that's not music.
Yeah.
And so we go in, and nobody gave us a heads up that it was Bill Rancic. They just said it was a house in Hinsdale. Want you to come on and take a look at the cabinet. So my dad's like, all right.
Jesus.
So my dad shows up.
And you said legit 14,000 square foot.
Yeah, massive house on a massive plot too.
Yeah.
And my dad shows up and there's a fucking camera crew and he's like, what the hell? And they're like, hey, like, come on over. And he was like, what is going on? And he's like, hi, you know? And so I run into the house and like show him the cabinets that he wants us to work on, which are actually like not fully installed. A lot of them were already like out because whoever bought the house and while they were building it ran out of money and just stopped because they just couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah, midstream.
And so we had to work with them trying to figure out, all right, how do you want to set these cabinets up? And then what do you want to paint them as? Because he didn't like the way they were painted because they were kind of like, eh.
But the finish specifically, or was it like, it wasn't like the table how this looks where it's like an actual wood grain?
No, it was already painted to begin with. It was just not a very flattering color.
Okay.
And that build dude's got a great eye for building. Like he's awesome at it, not so much his wife. And it was kind of funny because like so there was one time out of the weeks that we were working there that they were there together.
Okay.
But every time it was always Bill there. And he was always the one like telling us like, this is how I want this done. This is how I want that done.
She probably could give a shit less.
She kind of did the day she was there. But he was like, no, we're doing this. Yeah. Because he's the one that's really the brains behind the operation as far as flipping houses and stuff like that. But this wasn't the intention of flipping. It was, this is going to be our house. We're going to live here. We're going to have a family. And he was super fucking nice. Cool. Really nice, which surprised me. I thought for sure, some guy on a reality show that won The Apprentice. Yeah, multi-millionaire is probably going to be a fucking asshole. Not the case at all. Awesome. Super fucking nice. Great to work with.
Yeah.
And so that was a surprise. And so the first time that they were both there, that was the only time the camera showed up was when they were both there. Okay. When it was just him, there were no cameras.
Right.
because that's not the show. And I think most people are watching the show because of her. I think she had more clout as far as like the reality TV.
Because she hosted all that
demographic
shit.
goes.
She does the red carpets for the Oscars.
Yeah, until she got in trouble. But so they show up and cameras are out, and I'm like, oh fuck, like let's see how this goes. Yeah. And I was just telling my aunt about it. She's like, I thought it was really mean that he put her in that like porta john and like locked her in there. I was like, dude, that was so fucking fake. Yeah. She goes, what? I was like, beyond fake. She goes, what do you mean? I was like, I was standing right there when it happened.
And like a producer came up and was like, hey, put her in here, lock this.
She was like, oh, hey, this is funny. Like, what if you like close me in here and won't let me out? And he was like, yeah, sure, we can do that. Yeah. So he like walks over and like, all right, are we ready? And like does it. And it's like, oh, and you saw that happen
right in front of you. Yeah. Like them actually thinking of this brilliant idea.
And then the other moment was, so they come in and Bill's mother is from the area. And so she just happened to be with them just to see the project. And super nice as well. And Juliana was actually really nice.
I was going to say, was she okay at least?
Super fucking nice. And the one thing that impressed me the most about them was they knew everybody's fucking name that was working. Okay. It was crazy.
They were one of those, yeah. And that's one of those signs of like super successful people where like you retain names.
And they knew like their kids' names.
Wow.
That's what blew my mind. He was like, how's so-and-so doing like in college or in high school? I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, like they knew all that.
That's a different breed of people, and those are the ones that become super successful.
And I can see why they are as successful as they are, because they are genuinely nice people. Like I was totally ready to trash these motherfuckers.
Which is why I'm kept as a human, because I can't remember a name for shit.
I need to hear a name a million times before I'm like, I got locked in. But so they walk into the kitchen and they just kind of like talk about it like anybody would talk about what they're doing. Yeah. Finish the conversation. They're like, all right, let's do that again. We're going to roll on it. So they had the same exact conversation, just a little more precise and like, less us in it, and just did it. And I was like, what a crock of shit that is.
Incredible to be on the you guys didn't make it like a cut, did you?
No, our equipment did. Okay. You can see my exhaust fan in one of the shots, and I think my scaffolding.
Yeah, because usually because in a lot of those, because I know that was one that was like supposed to be following their wacky life and all that other,
just like any of those, keeping with the Kardashian
type of stuff. And usually, what the part that I don't like about a lot of those, when they do it with the rich people like that, like celebrities and all that, they tend to make the help like a butt of the joke.
Right.
Like if you and your dad had been on camera,
I'm sure they would have trashed us.
Yeah, it would have been something that made you guys look like dumbasses, which is what you wanted to be.
I don't think was the case in their show for the most part. I don't think they ever.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Like a lot of the other
ones are definitely like that.
They would have done that.
They're not like that because they're, like I said, they were genuinely nice people.
Great.
And I think that it definitely, like, no matter how hard you try, you're like whatever characteristics you have are definitely going to show through.
Sure.
Even through whatever clever editing, people are still going to pick up on like, oh, this person's a fucking jerk.
Yeah, because fundamentally they're still not acting. They're
yeah. So it was really bizarre, but it was a great project that I really liked a lot. And like I said, I liked working for them. Yeah, they were really nice, easygoing, and super happy with the job. And then it was funny. So we finished our part of it, and we had nothing else to do. So we were out of there and on to the next job.
Specifically just doing cabinets there.
Yeah, so it was built-in kitchen cabinets in their kitchen, and then cabinets upstairs, and then some trim as well, like throughout.
Okay.
It was a pretty decent-sized job. And it wasn't until maybe 6 months after we were out that they finally finished it. Mm-hmm. I think they lived there for all of like 2-3 weeks, and they were like, fuck it, let's just get rid of this and sell it. She's like, I want to stay in LA.
Right. Yeah.
And I think they had a condo in Chicago. And this was like around the time where she was trying to get pregnant and she was having issues with it. Yeah. And so I'm assuming her doctor and all that has got to be out in LA. So she was just like, let's just concentrate everything back in LA.
So they ended up effectively flipping that house anyway.
For a fuck ton of money. But I think it's because of like the name, you know, it's like you can own the house that Rancic owned. And it was all throughout the show for that season.
Well, also, again, if it's 14,000 square feet, that is already you're at least.
They sold that house, I think, for like $5 million.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
Bought it on foreclosure for 1.4, flipped it for 5.
Yeah, I think he put maybe $1 million into it. Probably not. Yeah. You know, like.
Probably didn't have to because a lot of the work was done if it was a newer house. It just wasn't finished, so he had to finish.
No, there was still a good amount of work to be done. Like, what was crazy?
God, I want to know how the guy that owned it like fucked up so bad.
Just ran out of money. That was the story.
Jeez.
But that was the other thing I liked about working on that job was everybody that worked for them was super fucking cool. His contractor was this awesome dude that was great to work with, and from Chicago. Christy Weber is a landscaping company. She was there, and like she completely transformed their landscape. It was crazy because it was a war zone before. Because like the guy, whoever owned it, that was like the last thing on their mind. But she like turned that thing around, looked amazing. So they still had a lot of work to put into that for sure. Because by the time we got there, I think they'd already been working on it for a couple months. And then
and you guys were such a small.
Very small part of it. Yeah. And so within a year, I think or not within a year, just over a year, that's when they flipped the house and made an ungodly amount of money probably.
That's absurd. God, good on them. And the system worked anyway because they were able to do that. So, motherfucker.
But yeah, that house was crazy how big it was.
That's an intimidating size. Yeah.
Yeah. That's insane.
And my mom works for the Village of Hinsdale, so she can pull all that shit up. So I can find out. Like, I know that house now.
Yeah, I can get you the address.
Yeah, she drive past. I mean, she could give it to me too. See, she jokingly used to do it because, like, you know, any sports guys would live in Hinsdale too.
Oh, yeah.
So like, and these names might not register for you specifically.
Probably not.
But like, so the guy that played for the Cubs, Nomar Garcia-Parra.
I know that name.
Played like shortstop or whatever. He was married to Mia Hamm, like a famous female soccer player from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
They were married. I think that's the name, Mia Hamm.
That sounds familiar.
They lived in Hinsdale.
Oh, okay.
Jim Thome, who played for the White Sox for years, lived in Hinsdale.
No shit.
My mom signed off on them building like this insane outdoor.
She does the permits and everything?
Yeah, she does part of that. So like she works in the office in there and stuff, so she handles all these calls and stuff. So like she had to weirdly sign over, I think, like a deed for them to build some crazy outdoor like cookout area.
Oh, really?
Like a grill that was probably like larger than this house.
I believe it.
Like that type of shit. Like a barbecue pit, but it takes up like
one that would be like a restaurant, but
a restaurant,
but in their house,
one bar, like that type of shit. So like she kind of would see these things and like, you know,
did those names register with her?
Jim Thome specifically because just the White Sox crib and that's the family thing. So like, that for sure. So she could be like, jokingly, it would be like one of those things where she could be like, I can tell you what their monthly water bill was for June of 2008.
So
like just
funny.
like, you know, like she had this information just privy, you know, like I don't want to maybe give out all of that, but like in theory, she had that info that she never would have used against anything.
But she can.
Yeah. You want to drive by a gigantic fucking house? Like, here you go.
Like,
you
check it out.
Yeah.
That's where so-and-so lives.
Yeah. So
that's
like that part of it was always weird, but one of my favorite things though with like rich people houses is Jordan's in Highland Park.
Yeah, the big 2-3.
Yeah, so the big 2-3.
Never saw it, but I know about it.
Well, so since Mike, Capsized Mike, lived in Highland Park,
he knew all the spots.
We drove by there once, just got to the gates, and you can't get anywhere further than that.
Yeah.
That house is still for sale. So it's been for sale since Jordan like divorced Juanita.
Right, which is a while ago now.
It's been a long time. But that house is so specific to Jordan that like it's
you would think there'd be like a super fan that was a ton of money. It's like,
I think that house at one point was like 40 million. It's now
okay, yeah, no, that's absurd. Yeah, and it's probably
it's slashed to like 15 million now or something.
Well, that's a deal.
It's a deal. But this is one of my favorite videos on the internet is a 30-minute walkthrough of that house.
How big is the house? You know,
a gazillion square feet. I can pull it up, but like if you talk for 45 seconds, I'm sure I can find it. But the real estate company that's trying to sell the house did this like immaculately produced 20-something minute walkthrough.
Well, I mean, think about it. Like, the percentage they get from that sale is probably not even close to whatever production they put into.
They hate having it. Like up there, like they want to sell the thing. They probably hate that they still have it as a listing.
That's crazy that nobody. I mean, granted, things aren't great, but still, I would think there'd be some millionaire out there, like because like Jordan definitely crosses over into like multiple cities. Like you don't have to be a Chicago-based dude to be like, I love Jordan. There's people out there that love him.
There's not some like, you know how like Kim Jong-un loved the '90s Bulls. And it was obsessed with Rodman.
I don't think you get real estate in America, can you?
No, but just using him as an example. I'm surprised there's
not some crazy dude like that.
This dude like loved the '90s Bulls and was like obsessed with Rodman and shit.
Right.
There has to be some like Saudi oil baron that loved Jordan.
You think there's some dude in Dubai that's like, I got a couple mil to burn, like
can buy
that like outright, you know?
Yeah, like straight up. Like there's no reason why it wouldn't.
There was a lot of celebrities in Highland Park, wasn't it?
It is a 7-acre estate.
7 acres.
Yeah, so we're not even
Highland
talking
Park.
Yeah, we're not even talking square footage. We're talking just acreage.
So the plot is 7 acres. Man, that's a lot in a place like that.
Yeah. I'm not.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not
that's
exposing
crazy.
anything. It's 2700 Point Lane in Highland Park.
That's fine.
the house.
Anybody can go there.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that his address is common knowledge now.
Yeah.
Plus, it's not hard to like find it being with a big 2-3.
Yeah,
on
they've
it.
got the actual house listed at about 33,000 square feet.
Holy shit.
9 beds, 15 plus baths.
9 bed, 15.
Yeah.
Wow.
Currently on sale. For sale. Yeah.
On sale, yeah.
$14.8 million.
That's a steal for that.
Well, yeah, technically, yes, considering where. See, so now they're going through a whole bunch of shit. This says it's a 50,000 or 56,000 square foot property. Like, just.
That's weird that the number jumped up like that.
Yeah.
They might be considering like garage
Everything.
space or
Well, yeah, 'cause
basement
it says here,
space because like some places don't.
Regulation sized basketball gymnasium, circular
Is it
infinity
full
pool.
court?
Yeah. A putting green,
course.
tennis court, a cigar room.
Okay.
The cigar room, in the video, it says they reformatted it into a workout spot, but it was specifically like
His
a
cigar room.
humidor.
Yeah,
Like
that was
if
his
you walk
shit.
in,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you walk into a humidor like place where you can still smoke cigars and it's so heavily ventilated, that whole room was ventilated basically is what it comes down to. I remember in the walkthrough, I think leading to that cigar room, it's like the original doors from like the Playboy Club from like the 20s.
Oh, cool. Like the Chicago Playboy Club or something?
Yeah. Like,
That's cool. We did work on their desks back in the day.
there you go.
Fun fact.
so like the heavy ass doors, I guess, to enter that club, he
Cool.
took repurposed in the house
That's
type
awesome.
of it's obscene. Like there's no
Man, to have that kind of like endless amount of money to do shit like that is the
truly
coolest.
endless amount of money where he could get a divorce, give his
Oh, yeah.
ex-wife like $250 million and it's not even
It doesn't
fucking
even
drop.
dent. Yeah.
He made that off.
Well, look at what's his name, Jeff Bezos. His wife walked away with a lot of
she's
money.
now
Like,
I forgot what this
isn't
thing
she
was.
like one of the richest women?
Yes, she's now like a top 5 richest woman in the
Crazy.
world off of
And I'm
a
sure that
divorce.
still like did not put a dent in that guy. He's like, yeah, whatever. We'll make it up next quarter.
He made that back in a week.
I'm sure.
Like flatly.
Whatever. Amazon. What's the big thing where they do the sales?
Prime Days.
Prime Day. Prime Day is right around the corner. I'll make that back.
Actually, there was one just like last
Recently.
month.
Yeah.
That Prime Day, you made it up easily. It might be 10 minutes, but it's up there. I found it. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Just Jordan Highland Park house.
I'm sure it's on YouTube. Like,
Yeah, it's all. Yeah, it's. I'll
Yeah.
play it.
Who else? I remember. I never went with you guys, but I remember you guys doing the Mike tour of Highland
yeah.
Park. I know you guys saw Ditka's house, right?
Right?
And-
I don't remember Ditka's. It was,
I thought you guys
it was
did. Billy Corgan.
It was Corgan's. For me, it was Corgan and Jordan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I know there. Did you see the was it Home Alone house? I know I've seen that like when I was up there.
I don't remember that one. But yeah, that's right. That is Highland Park too.
That's
isn't
up
it?
there. Yeah.
So yeah, obscene. Just that whole town was just absurd. Like the one or
Speaking
two
of
times.
Mike, I don't know if you watch this show, Mike, but we're trying to get a hold of you.
Nobody can.
I don't know if Al like. I like that Al was like, he's like, I know his ex-girlfriend on Facebook. He can like message her. I was like, go for it. Do whatever we can to get a hold of him.
He's got all of us blocked. It's the same number.
I don't know,
he
man.
just
Like,
got rid of us.
he
does not want to.
So yeah, we briefly talked about it in a previous episode, but the idea of Capsize doing a one-time show at some point, I don't know when.
It's being bandied about. It'd be cool to do it in 2019, but
I don't think that's gonna happen.
Yeah, no.
Just because like Tom pretty much has like his days already like figured out. Like he can't take the time off.
Yeah.
I don't think that's soon and have to be it because he's prepping for a bunch of people coming down to visit him.
okay.
Like I know my buddy John's gonna be down there for New Year's. I was thinking about going in January, so I might take up more of his time, unfortunately. But yeah, it was an idea we brought up mainly because of this, because of us talking again about all this stuff, and
Keeping the dream alive.
and so
It's the Jack Bruton Vanity Project, so we can do one last live show.
and then like right after we talked about it, I was hanging out with Brian and Rosie, and I asked Rosie, I was like, "Hey man, what are your thoughts on a one-time only like reunion show?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm down." I was like, "All right, that was
that
easy.
was pretty cool, yeah.
That was
you
easy
had the
enough."
group thing, the little group text that's now started.
Yeah, that's awesome. Like it's like
she
the
was
good
just
old
like,
days.
fuck yeah, let's go. Let it ride.
And
So,
and I was like, all right, that's easy enough. I was like, Al's probably easy enough to get a hold of and find out. And I texted him. I was like, hey man, I got Jack and Rosie on board. Would you do? He's like, yeah, absolutely. I was like, all right, that was easy enough. And then I was like, all right, the two hardest ones are gonna be Tom and Mike.
I was gonna
because
say
they don't live here.
Yeah,
like,
I was gonna say those the four you, me, and those two. those would have, if there were any hiccups there, it wasn't going to happen. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Because like if any of them weren't that particularly interested, one, it wouldn't be as like, we have to kind of face the reality that there might not be
a mic involved in this, which would be a
effectively
bummer.
when it comes, it doesn't blow for sure. But like literally you reached out through Facebook.
I texted him. Yeah. And nothing. Yeah. And like,
you said
granted, it's been a while since I messaged him through either of those. Cause I could look at my phone doesn't even have text messages from him. That's how.
Yeah.
And this is an old phone. I've had this for a while.
Right. Yeah.
And I don't have anything from him. I do have an old message from him on Facebook. It was actually concerning you. He was asking about you.
Oh.
I totally forgot about it. He goes, it was like asking like, oh, have you seen Jack at all? And this was at a point where like I didn't. I was like, no. I was like, I haven't seen him in fucking forever. Yeah. And I was like, don't know what he's up to.
This comes
That's
up
how long ago that was.
This comes up on other episodes, including Rudy's that'll have already aired by the time this is. But like, legit, like when I say like I fell out and like you guys didn't hear from me for a year, literally calendar years. Like,
oh yeah,
there's I mean, several too. Like it's an expansive.
There was a blackout period. That was pretty long.
Yeah. So that's really funny that's what he's reaching out trying to find out.
Yeah, because he at that point.
Because truly, when I left, like he ghosted me. Like maybe not purposefully. Maybe it's some weird Eastern Bloc Ukrainian shit where it's just like you are dead to me.
Yeah, you signed up about.
Yeah, he did not have that accent, by the way. Sorry, Mike. If you ever do hear this, we're not really making fun of you. But like, I do think it's some Eastern Bloc shit where it's just like, all right, he's out of my life. Fuck this.
Which he does nothing for me.
Like,
that's it.
You're no use to me anymore. Which again,
no, I don't
totally
think that's
fine.
his thing.
I wasn't much use to anybody at that point.
Because it wasn't long after that he left the band.
There you go. Yeah, and everything sort of.
Because we only did like a handful of shows with Brian filling in for you and and Eddie from Baron Air filled in for Al.
Right.
Because you guys, I can't remember, did Al leave before you or after you?
Right after. It would have been immediately after.
Okay.
Fun thing, Al and I were, like, Al knew I was going to do it before we walked into the building. And Al was like, I might do it too. Like that night, the night I quit, he was kind of banding because he wasn't feeling well.
Yeah, I know. He was
like,
sick as fuck.
Yeah, so like, you know.
Which I didn't blame him, yeah.
Yeah, so when I told him, like, dude, I think, like, he was the first one to actually know. And I was like, dude, I think I'm going to walk up there and walk out. And
that's it. Put in the resignation, guys.
Basically. And it was that awkward. I was just like there and I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. And I just left.
It's like breaking up, man. That shit is not easy to like
easy.
leave a band,
and like, it wasn't
especially that band.
And you guys kind of probably saw it coming in some capacity. Like I was acting weird for a while anyway.
We had our assumptions and we were kind of like ready for it, but it was still a fucking bummer. Like
it's not
because the thing with that band was it never was like a band. It was friends, you know.
That happened,
and it was like losing a friend. It was essentially what it was. It wasn't losing a band member. It was losing a friend. It was like, fuck, this sucks. Like we lost a limb that is capsized, you know, like,
and I was just,
we're not going to recover from it. Like we'll try, but try as we might, it's not going to be the same entity that is capsized. Yeah. And I don't blame you at all for leaving, you know.
The fact that it was Rosie's husband who was a friend of the band and everything else. And for that still not to have held up in some capacity, like, you know.
Yeah. I mean, the real nail in the coffin was Mike leaving though.
Yeah.
Cause getting a drummer is really hard, but like, it was all like the perk of, you know, when we lost you and Al was we knew Eddie. Eddie was down to do it, and we all know Eddie. We all love Eddie.
Yeah,
there's already you guys had direct
replacements for both.
Yeah, and then Brian, we've obviously known Brian forever, and we love that guy. There's no reason to hate either of those guys or be weird about them. We just knew these guys are cool. They'll fit in, you know.
Yeah, and Brian's actually extremely technically proficient at that too.
So he's a great vocalist, so it was easy to bring him into the fold. But then like replacing a drummer is difficult. Because one, there's not a lot of drummers in the world. And then two, the idea was like, fuck, we don't know anybody. One, that could do it. And two, that we all collectively knew and liked right away.
Yeah.
That's what made the Eddie and Brian thing easy. It was like we all, and obviously Rosie knows, and that's her fucking husband.
Yeah.
So like we all knew them right away. So it was easy to just bring them in. Whereas with Mike, it was like, fuck, who do we get?
Take some work.
And like, do we want to go down that road of like, let's put out the bulletin and start auditioning drummers and like have to like get to know somebody and like bring them into this thing that is pretty, it's like very, I don't know if intimate is the right word, but it's just like we were so close as friends that it was like, ooh, I don't know if we want to bring in a stranger, you know, because we did that in the past, you know, and it never really worked out too well. Like
I'm thinking of the one in particular. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess there's only one that really was like the only moment with like that dude. I don't want to say his name. I don't want to say his last name, but Josh. Like,
yeah, we brought in an outsider, and it was okay, but then it was
all
weird.
right, but it was just like he just didn't gel well with us, you know.
And that was a major. You needed to have the like grab ass in the very particular way.
Yeah, for us, the priority was like the friendship aspect of it, and then like everything else was secondary, like the music and all that. And
but he wasn't that proficient at the music element.
Yeah,
either.
he definitely didn't keep up his end of the music part of it, which we don't ask for much in that band. But and there's tons of material to, or guitar. Which thank you, Al, for that. Where all the Guitar Pro.
Oh yeah, he found the.
Dude, not only did he find the entire album of Guitar Pro tablature, he had the next album's worth of guitar tablature, which was crazy because I don't even know where any of that stuff is. Like for me personally, like I think it might be on my old desktop, which is still in storage, but it's not on any of the stuff I have now.
And at this point, that stuff might not even turn on. So it's
it'll still work. But it was funny listening to it. I was like, holy shit, man. There's some good riffage in this thing. And it's a full album's worth. Like,
no shit.
And it was really cool. I'm like, fuck, I wish, like, looking at it, I'm like, man, I wish we did this. Like, it would have been so cool because it's such a bigger version of what we were, you know? And I was like, fuck. And I think some of those riffs still hold up as, like, good, heavy riffs. And but whatever, that's neither here nor there.
That's so funny.
I toyed with the idea. I was like, man, what if I just record this album and then maybe push you into like, hey, man, you want to do vocals on it? Yeah, we'll do Capsize too. Yeah, I would. That'd be fun. Yeah.
Turn it into a studio thing that'll never play a show.
Just bill it as Capsize and just be like, here, this is the album that was going to come out probably 10 years after the last one came out.
Yeah, you might need to send those to me so I can at least give it a little listen.
You just need Guitar Pro 5.2.
It's very specific.
Yeah, because I had an old version. I tried to open them up. And I was like, fuck. So I had to re-download Guitar Pro.
One of those things where if I tried to import the files into the most current version, it would be like, here,
something in French would pop up. Yeah. Like, no, you can't do that.
Perfect. Okay.
But yeah, so like we were throwing around the idea, like, so if we do this reunion, I'd rather not do a drum machine.
You'd like a person. Yeah.
Yeah, ideally. But if it came down to it, I would do a drum machine. I think it'd be all right. As long as we do it at a decent place with it,
We would take up less room at least.
Yeah, that's true. We just put all the amps back there instead of a drum kit.
I mean, they're
because the idea was to potentially do it at the Burlington, which is a great venue, which I'm sure a lot of people have been to. I like it because it's kind of like this good hybrid of almost feeling like a basement show while still being a venue, Yeah. With a really good sound system. And if Spencer, if you're listening, if this happens, you have to do sound for us on that
if you can work that show, make me sound okay.
That would be really cool. We could probably get away with a drum machine on that. But yeah, there was like only one name I've been kicking around about doing it. I haven't asked him yet just because.
Don't even bring it up until
No, I'm not going to say it, but I'm still holding on to the idea that we'll get the original 6. So hopefully, I don't know. But I just haven't heard a fucking thing from Mike.
Yeah. Without knowing, because I know his dad moved. His parents split around when we were all doing that.
That's right.
And his dad moved to the old country.
Really?
Yeah, so it would have just been his mom that would have been the Highland Park person living there. So if she sold the house and moved,
I'm sure she did.
Yeah, so she's probably he probably has no reason to come to Illinois at this point.
Because I haven't even I'm friends with friends of his on Facebook and stuff, and I've never even seen pictures of him with them. He's back here.
Yeah.
Because one of the other things when
this is talking shit. If this ever comes back to you, Mike, we're just wondering.
We just want to know where you're at.
Yeah, this is more like a well-being check.
I don't even know. I mean, it'd be crazy if he did listen to this, but
yeah,
I feel like he would have reached out if he did listen to the show. But
just know we're reaching out to you.
I feel like I see the Ruiner name show up on a comment somewhere, but it hasn't happened. But he, one of the last things we talked about was his job at the time allowed him to come back to Chicago because he had work here. And he would come in for a little bit and then go back to California.
So ideally trying to catch him on one of those.
Oh, I don't even know if that's still a thing.
Yeah.
But he only did it one time. He reached out. This is when Tom was still here.
Okay.
That's how long ago this was. And was like, yo, he's like, I'm coming back to Chicago. He's like, I'm going to be there for a couple days. Let's hang out. And we did. We hung out for one day. It was awesome. Caught up real quick. And now he was like, I can do this more often. I'll be out in Chicago because of work. I'm like, fuck yeah. Hit me up next time you're there and we'll hang out. And never hit me up again. None of us. And I was like, oh, fuck. but I think he just never came back because I never saw pictures of him with any of his like I said, I'm friends with a couple of his like Highland Park friends that are still here.
Right.
And I've never seen photos of them with him like recently.
That might be the only other, like, I don't want to get creepy with it either.
Yeah, I know. I don't want to go that route.
I'm not saying like Al reaching out to an ex-girl, like literally.
Nah, that's not bad.
Yeah. Unless like it ended on poor terms, but like, it's not Agatha, right? It's the other one.
No, the one he moved out with.
Okay.
Katie. Yeah.
Okay. So like,
I think that's what Al was referring to. He didn't say the name specifically.
Because like Agatha wouldn't know.
Yeah, I don't even know where that girl is. I have no idea.
Yeah, no. Like these are all just dust in the wind people.
We are just, it's like really bad private eyes trying to find something.
Yeah. Like I don't want it to get too like if we can't find him, we can't find him.
Right. Yeah.
You know, like if it's just he's gone, and so be it. Like if he never wants to return to Illinois.
I wouldn't blame him. But I feel like that's not. I can't imagine him being like, I never want to come back to Chicago. Like, maybe
he's
such an easygoing guy.
Would he want to maybe come back to Chicago just to see Chicago again? Sure. But like, does he necessarily want to go with the intention of
playing a show?
Yeah. Like,
I don't see why not. I mean, I don't think the dude did music out there. He has the other last thing we
Nick
talked
still
about
has
was
his kit. Like,
we could borrow it back again, which would be, I didn't even think of that. That'd be crazy. Yeah, you could have your kit back again, Mike, for a day.
From Baron Air, his kit.
That's so
like,
funny.
It would be like you know what he was using.
He had an electronic drum kit I saw out there. I remember I was looking through my Facebook messages and there was a photo. It was like, this is the drum kit I got. Like, still going strong. I was like, cool.
Okay.
But I don't know if he's still doing that. I don't know if he's got the chops. Like, I know Tom has not played guitar since he's moved out to the islands.
Sure. Yeah.
And like, cause he took a guitar with him. It was his guitar. It was like one of the ones that I worked on and more or less traded him. And I was like, yeah, here you go. Yeah. And I went down there and I was like, so sitting in that gig bag. He goes, yeah, I haven't opened it up since I moved here. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah. I haven't done anything vocally.
Right.
Since, like truly, like we might be building this up as like a big deal just for us. And then when it actually
happens, a big deal for us. Yeah.
But then when it actually happens, it's going to be terrible.
Oh, it's going to be god awful.
Do you want to hear like guys that haven't done any of this shit? Yeah. Like, dude, it might be a disaster in a really fun way.
Well, it's one of the things that was always, it's been in the back of my head since we talked about this. I was like, well, I know I can hold my end of it because I'm still in it. I'm still doing music like that. But I went through the tabs. I was like, ooh, there's some riffage in there that I can't do right now that I have to work back up to.
The old muscle memory thing.
Yeah. Like
you and Rosie would be able to hang, obviously.
Rosie would have to work up to it. Yeah, she hasn't played guitar in a while.
Okay.
She's all just drums right now.
Oh, really? Okay. So
she I feel bad. She just released a new album, I believe, on a project she's doing with Kirk, who is the guitar player of their band Slow Thrills. He just released like this album just recently, but now it would be well after whenever this airs.
Yeah.
And I can't think of the name of it. This is a reason why we'd have that whiteboard, is for ideas, like stuff we need to plug. I don't need to plug it, but it'd be nice to plug it.
At the end, at the end of the episode, you can fill in all those gaps. That would be a good way to use that board.
What?
Like at the end of the episode, you tack on, here's all the crap that we forgot in the moment while we were talking. And then you could just name it all. That band we mentioned was this, that released this, like all that crap.
Yeah.
That'd be a good use of it. Okay, so she might need to pick it up again. But she's at least been doing things musically.
Yeah.
As opposed to what could be.
She's also a bit of a savant with music. And
exactly.
So I'm not too worried about that.
So that's 1/3 of the 6.
Right.
That like could probably come in and like fairly quickly. Like,
I feel like Al would be able to get the rust off and like play again.
But he hasn't done much of anything since. No. Like, you know, like he
nothing musically.
Yeah.
You, Tom, and Al and Mike have not done anything musically since that project.
Yeah. So
I can understand that being pretty rusty for everybody.
That could get very interesting, especially in the way that it would have to be done like there's no way you could do any rehearsals.
Oh no.
Like it would be.
It really hinges on people practicing on their own.
Yeah.
Which never ends well.
Which we never did in the time anyway.
Right. We never really had to. We were consistent of our practicing.
But that's
ideally we would get in one rehearsal like the day before.
We'd probably need 1 or 2.
Just see how it goes and then do like the old days, run the set, 30-minute break, run the set.
Yeah. I'll Venmo like Rosie and Brian for a babysitter for like 3 days in a row so she can get out.
Well, Brian just has to watch her.
Have Brian babysitting,
yeah.
You got to do it. You got double duty, my friend. That poor guy. It would have to be like, I think. Oh yeah, we would need at least 2, and then
who?
Like,
now the real question is, what bands will we get to play?
All the same 3 that we know at this point.
Who is still alive from
Oh, if you're talking from
none
that
of
long
them.
ago? No,
Yeah, from that
it would
long,
be-
none of them,
no,
right?
It's impossible. I can't think of...
Or even offshoots of some of the bands that we used to play with. Well, I'm trying to think.
No, it would be... We would have to be like, hey, Baron Air, do you want to pretend to do this one more time?
That would be great. Actually, that would be a good one. Yeah, Baron Air for sure.
Just because, like, I mean...
But they have to play like a Wasted Fortune song.
Oh, boy.
They have to cover themselves.
That would be... Yeah, with vocals.
I don't think they could do it, but it'd be funny.
That would be... Have Danny do the vocals again.
That'd be
not
great.
me. Have Danny
my
do
God,
one of the
that
songs
version,
that I did.
That I
so it would be
like.
good. And then, yeah.
That'd be funny. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought about it now. Like, who the fuck would we get to play?
Yeah,
Because
I
like
mean-
with the Burlington, well, the reason why I like the idea of that place is you can kind of set up your own show,
Yeah.
and they won't bat an eye. They're like, go for it.
Yeah, and
Knock
I would
yourselves out.
not want, like... I wouldn't want you doing double duty. So
I don't want anybody to have to do double duty.
Yeah. So your shit would be... So no Something Is Waiting.
no Roman ring. No,
No.
absolutely not.
I wouldn't want, nor would I expect, like Warforged or Immortal Bird to want to play it
yeah,
because they're established bands.
they're way too cool for us.
Yeah, so like I wouldn't need like that.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah,
but
so like those would be no. We'd have to beg Rudy and see if the Thieves guys.
Oh yeah, Thieves. Actually, yeah. What the fuck? I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
Thieves, hands down,
So,
because
like-
they've been around as long as we've
and they
been
would
around.
have fun with it.
Oh yeah.
So it would get violent. That
maybe
would be
we can
fun.
request. Well, let's do it March 16th. Just so Rudy can do it
Yeah,
again.
the
Yeah.
316 comeback.
Fuck yes.
If Rudy can do entirely Steve Austin. So like that would be it would have to be like Baron Air Thieves and
That'd be great. Yeah, 3-band bill.
yeah.
I was just talking to Go about that. How the 3-band bill is like the ideal bill.
Yeah.
It's great.
And they wouldn't
In,
have
out, gone.
And no one has an ego about. And not saying the Warforged or Mortal Bird guys would have egos about it, but truly like they're actually established acts.
Yeah,
I'm not
I would.
looking
I would
to-
feel kind of bad to be like, hey, you guys want to open or be direct
you guys,
support for
You
us?
guys want
know?
a middle for a band that hasn't done shit in 10 years and it's going to sound like a fucking
Just a
joke. Yeah.
train wreck of that. I don't think it'll be that bad. I think as long as we bust out the old sequence and go from there, I think it'll be all right.
I was running through like, I mean, I
Do you remember all your lyrics at all, or would you have to kind of like?
No, a good chunk of them.
Do you have? Because I remember you had a WordPad or
Yeah, I would
whatever
have to.
that you sent me. I don't know
Yes,
how long ago it was.
there is a Word file somewhere. I could probably do some deep digging to find the original notebooks because it was one of those things I was
Oh, yeah.
asked about it where I had like actual like
Were they
Moleskine shit.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
That it was. I don't
Because
think
you're
it
an
was.
artiste.
Yeah, I don't think it was a Moleskine proper, but I was playing the part. But it was some like really.
was vinyl.
It was some way nicer. Yeah, exactly. It was some way nicer journal than I would have required to write down the crap that I wrote.
At least, I mean, well, the lyrics are good. It wasn't like really dumb shit. Then I'd be like, that's ridiculous that you're writing something like that.
I put some, especially the later stuff where it was longer. Like I tried.
I think you tried all the time. Like, I don't know. Like, because I remember reading the lyrics and being very impressed with all of them and being like, oh, this is awesome. This dude's not an idiot. And he's like saying some cool shit.
Yeah.
And it's like,
It
and
was
it's
always, it was important to me to do that and try to buck the idea that I'm just screaming,
not right.
which was such a connotation for metal shit in general.
Oh, I know.
And like, I mean, like the guys that are more established at this point, like no one's going to ask that, but like any guys that we know that are vocalists that wrote that type of stuff, like one of the common questions, especially when we're younger, is like, are those actually words?
Right. Like, what
Are you actually
saying
saying anything? Like that type of horseshit. And they would be mildly cute when it was like a broad saying it, but like truly like those were the questions that you would get asked. Like,
I'm sure.
Or like,
Yeah.
doesn't your throat hurt? Like those stupid things.
So I'm so glad not to be a
Yeah,
vocalist.
like, yes, of course my throat hurts. I've been screaming this
scream my
entire
dick off
time.
in 30 minutes.
It's not ideal. Like, this
The
is
human
a,
body shouldn't be doing that. But
this is
yeah.
a dumb question. But like, so yeah, I did try to at least put that type of effort into it. Not knowing full well, like no one could actually do any deep digging and like find out exactly.
Yeah.
Because
well,
it's
I
not
mean,
like we posted them anywhere. Like,
yeah,
it's
which
none of that.
I
so
really am bummed about that. Like, I wish we did. Like, I think, well, the other idea I was kicking around with this thing is potentially remixing and remastering the album and like
having a full
like,
zip
and
file
not even
where
like
you have
remixing.
everything.
I mean, like almost re-engineering the album actually, because I
Damn.
have all the stems. I have everything you need.
Yeah.
But essentially just reamping guitars and bass at least, just for like better tones and whatnot. And then I was like, maybe I should just bite the bullet and hit up a friend and be like, yo, here's the whole album. Fucking reamp it, mix it, master it. Like Pete, I was thinking about hitting him up, man. Like, hey man, you want to like tackle this whole album and like just do your thing, because he's amazing at what he does.
I was
like,
gonna say,
I love his work.
That would be way too good for anything I would have deserved.
That'd be the best Capsize would ever sound. Better than we deserve.
Yeah, I'd throw some money in on that for sure.
I figured as much. Like, if I asked everybody, be like, hey, you guys want to like throw some money into this to like get a proper mixed, mastered like version that it, I don't know if it necessarily deserves, but I think we owe it to ourselves to do a better version.
Product that would have been there. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's an idea. I don't know. We'll see.
Here's what it'll sound like.
Everybody in the house tonight. What's up? What's up? What's up? Everybody in the house tonight. What's up? What's up?
Your vocals are a lot different than I remembered.
I know. This is probably what my voice would sound like now if I tried the same shit.
I came here I came here looking to hit the floor. I see you shaking that booty.
I like the horrible edits.
It's rough. It's just as bad as you
It would be that far off from what we sound.
No, truly. Yeah. I honestly, I probably will sound like that anyway. So, because like, I do a lot of, like when I put on, Spirals, Blood is My Shed, that's always one where I car sing.
Oh, there you go. That's a good warm up. Yeah.
It would be if I had any variant of a skill left. But like,
gotta hit up Danny, man. Get those vocal exercises.
Legit, if this truly is starting to concretize and we actually have a date, I will have to just bite the bullet. And
I think
like,
there's enough time to like.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying that this is not some impending thing, but like truly, like if it sounds like, oh, this is really coming together, like I'm gonna have to just to like, at least like warm up shit, just so I can prep it as much as I can.
Right.
But like, so it'll be like 612. You know, just like a classic from there. Mm-hmm. Just like each time, like that. If I get through like You Break My Heart, I Fall in Love Again, my voice is already hoarse by again.
Fuck.
You know, it's one of those things where it's just like, oh no, I have not done this and then I cough and like, it's gonna be, it'll be bad. Like to set your bars low. Right. It's truly a nostalgia act at that point. Like there's like, don't get me wrong. If this happens, like, it's not like delusions of grandeur. This isn't coming back in some capacity. Everyone's got too much shit going on. Everyone's too spread out, all the other crap. Like it wouldn't be something where it's like they're coming back. It's truly just like stroke our dicks one more time.
Just a one-off. Yeah. I think I look at it more as like an actual goodbye to everybody. Yeah. You know,
10 years too late. All the other stuff.
Whatever.
Yeah, because that's one of my me walking out the way I did. I would have liked to have at least gotten like one proper goodbye show, and I just didn't even allow myself that. I literally was just like, I've got like that, and that was the end of it. Like truly, it just
it would have been nice to be like, yo, let's do one final one, but
it was truly going out with a whimper. And
you didn't have to read it to be like, yeah, he's done. Like he's out.
It was rough.
No reason to
hit her in the shitter. Slap her just to show you it's real. Like
I don't doubt it.
Yeah, I need you to know this is real. Oh, sorry, it's Slap Her in the Crapper, Hit Her in the Shitter.
How dare you get that wrong?
1998.
Starring
Lizzie Borden. 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
Ooh.
Babe plays herself. Lizzie Borden as herself. Tom Byron, who's a legit porn dude. I remember that name. Something called Tiffany Minx. More porn dudes. Yep. Guy going by Mike Long, because of course.
Why not?
Yep. There was one award nomination. It was a Zerko, the X-rated critics organization. It's like their, I think it's like the AVNs, like their Oscars.
Yeah.
Zerko, I believe, is probably like their Golden Globes.
I didn't know there was multiple.
There are. It's pathetic.
I just thought it was just AVN.
Well, this was a XRCO, X-rated Critics Association of the USA in 1999. It was a nominee for the worst movie of the year.
Oh, it wasn't even a good porn.
No.
I feel like that has to take some effort to make a bad porn.
The comedy the commentary. So there's somebody in 2004 put a review for it.
Holy shit. I can only imagine the kind of person that would leave a porn review.
Well, this is complete bullshit. So
okay. So there's some satirical aspect to it.
It's titled Thought Provoking. But no, it immediately
somebody's trying to work for the Onion.
This guy's a smart ass, but it's still funny. So it says, my mother and I recently rented this movie for some after church relaxation on a Sunday afternoon, and it gets worse. I thought this was actually going to be
like a legit review.
Yeah, but no, I got it very excited though. So sorry, it's Slapper in the Crapper, Hitter in the Shitter. One and only because
they didn't make it a series.
It did so bad they wouldn't sequelize it. It's one of those things. They probably left it.
Oh, come on. They sequelized way worse movies.
They probably, I bet, oh God, without seeing it, I bet they left it on a cliffhanger thinking there would be a hitter in the, or
I don't think porn
slapper in the crapper, hitter in the shitter.
Does it? Has there ever been a porn that ended in a cliffhanger?
We're going to find out. Let's see. Oh, I found the Pirate Bay download for it.
Oh,
so
nice.
if I need to. Let's just do a terrible Google image search real quick. I'm just on my phone now. Yeah, nothing comes up. It's all gross. It's all toilets. So it's just a bunch of toilet photos. Yeah, bat in the ass, guys. Bat in the ass. Yeah. So enough talking about what would truly be my vanity project. I genuinely, the more I host this now, and the fact that I'm out of material and stories of my own.
No, you mentioned something. You said that before, and then you mentioned something. I was like, "Holy shit, we didn't talk about that story."
Well, the only one else I would have left is the I almost died story.
Yeah, so talk about that. That's an insane story.
When I'm out of that, though, I'm cashed out.
Nah, I'm sure something might rumble that you might remember.
The last thing I want to do is be the guy that continues to come on here and all we do is talk about capsize. It's now becoming a thing where it's like specifically like I don't want it to keep being like, well, when I did this back in 2000, like,
oh, I do that now.
Well,
that's the show.
You're allowed though because you can actually then go and practice with another band. And I'm just like, this is me living vicariously through others.
This is us talking about our lives. That's all it is.
I suppose. I just don't want to keep being that dude.
Whatever. Wait, so how long ago was that when you ended up in the hospital for whatever? Because like technically they don't know what the fuck happened to you, right?
To my knowledge, I never knew.
Okay.
No.
And you were how old?
I was going into my junior year of high school. It was the end of the summer going into my junior year of high school.
So you would have been what, 17?
16, 17.
16, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then ended up on the pediatric ward.
Yeah, because you were under 18.
Because I was under 18.
Yeah, and you were not far from here, actually. The other way.
Loyola.
Which way are we facing?
Yeah. First Avenue, Loyola, North Riverside. Yeah. Right by the highway over there. That hospital.
Because I'm trying to think.
By the mental health facility, too.
Yeah, by Madden.
Yeah, so the big joke was that, like, I broke out of Madden and I was walking around the pediatric ward of...
You were one of the...
yeah, because at 16, 17, I had, like, my hair's the longest it's ever been right now, which is why I've got a headband on and the pony's up and all the other crap for those looking, or if you're just listening.
You don't look much different than you did back then, which is funny.
Yeah, which is funny because from pretty much around that point to like a couple of years ago.
Minus the tattoos, you pretty much look the same, like beard and everything.
A little bit, yeah, I still had the beard at like 16, 17. My hair was like fairly
relatively long.
It was the longest it was ever up until now. And then there was that whole like decade swath of time where my hair was buzzed to a 3 and...
Yes.
Yeah.
But this, that was before that.
I had a very terrible reminder of that when I went to the dentist for the first time in a long time. Like it was a pathetic amount of time that I had gone to the dentist.
Uh-huh.
And because my wisdom teeth were starting to hurt, I had to get 2 of them pulled a few months back, and he couldn't do it. I had to go to somebody else, like an oral surgeon, to do
was it like impacted or whatever?
One was, yeah. So, so I hadn't gone to the dentist in a long time, and I've got like dental insurance. Like, there's no excuse outside of just me just
being like, I don't want to schedule it.
Yeah, just not going. Like I'm not even. It wasn't even like I'm terrified to find out what the actual thing is. Like whatever. I'm just like I'm
whatever.
I'm not an adult, basically.
Right. Yeah.
So
I'm
just not going. And they had to do new updated x-rays and shit on the teeth, and part of it they had photos from the last time I had gone, and there I was with long hair and all this other shit. So it had been like close to a fucking decade. Wow. I'm not afraid to admit this. It's been a long fucking time before that. And so like I went and did that, and they were like, what? And the assistant that was doing the shit, like taking all the
x-rays.
What is that?
That noise?
Yeah, it sounds like somebody's stepping as we're...
It's the air conditioner kicking in. He had laundry going like a minute ago, but I think that has stopped. I think it's just the air.
Okay, it's probably just me hearing it. But so when I went, she was doing all that stuff. She's like, "Oh, look, you barely have changed." And I like turned around and I looked, and it's like me from like a decade ago where I had that short, long hair.
Yeah,
still had the beard. I looked basically exactly the same. So to
That's
literally
so
only that office, they thought that I've just been rocking this look.
That's even funnier.
From like 17 or whatever.
Like he was really sold on that look.
From like 18 to 32, this guy has not altered his look at all.
I'm trying to think. Have you ever shaved your beard? Or have you always had some sort of facial hair? Right?
I keep it, pretty much.
Okay.
Like if I shave it close to anything, it's an accident. So,
Right, yeah.
I cannot recall the last time I was completely clean shaven.
I don't even remember.
It's a gross look because I look like now I would look like a fat baby.
But
before it would
it's
be
a rough look for anybody that's had a beard for a long time and then you shave it and you're like, oh fuck.
Especially because I would use the beard helps me look older.
Yeah,
like I still have a fairly young face. Like I have, if I'm clean shaven, it's gross.
I always joke that I finally look the age that I've always kind of looked.
There you go.
You know, like early to mid 30s. Like I got that when I was like in my 20s, like because I always had some sort of facial hair, and people were like, "Look at that old dude." And I'm like, "I'm not that old."
Yeah. No, I'm way.
But yeah, if I shave, it's like, ooh.
Yeah, where that's the whole thing.
That's a young,
Needless
I don't
to say,
like it.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been carded properly for anything, unless it's like some establishment, like it's a rule where an establishment makes you.
Yeah.
You know,
I think
one of those things.
I think I got carded recently, and it wasn't one of those situations. Okay. I thought that was really weird. I'm like, oh.
Yeah. Well, just coming up from Wisconsin, where you can just drink on the street and all the fun stuff that they allow you to do, comparatively.
Free for all.
Yeah, so like none of them even looked twice. So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I had this really cool. I didn't drink a ton on this trip, all things considered, but we went to this restaurant that's in that little downtown spot next to the fudge shop, across the street from the other
fudge shop.
Yeah, across the street from the other fudge shop.
Adjacent to another fudge shop.
Yeah. It was past
perpendicular to a fudge shop.
Yeah, straight across the street from
on top of a fudge shop.
Straight across the street from a t-shirt shop.
Oh, there you go. I forgot about that.
But it was past Ripley's. It was past Ripley's for sure.
And then a Crystals shop, of course.
Yeah. The Crystals for sure.
And then a place specifically just for magnets.
Did you walk past the one you could do where it's like you can pay like $10 and shoot paintball rounds at a wall?
No.
Okay. Just walking down that strip, that's one of the fun ones. Like
Wait, what?
You just walk in and there's just like a bunch of like semi-automatic fucking paintball guns.
And you just shoot a wall?
Yeah. And it's like a shooting range, like a standard.
No, I did not see
It's like
that.
a standard gun shooting range for paintball. So like any family can walk in off the street. It's like $10. You get 150 rounds. There's just a wall you can aim at. And you just.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah. So that was on that too.
We are going to be in Madison, but it's going to be in the winter. I don't know if I really want to walk around.
All that'll be closed anyway.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah, none of that shit will be open.
Damn it.
We've been there. Some of those restaurants stay open, but everything else is like a fucking ghost town.
I would think so.
Yeah,
That's like so fucking slow. Like, who the fuck wants to be in Wisconsin in the wintertime?
Yeah,
we do. That's why we're going to Madison.
We go because of the way my work shit works out. We tend to go like every year right after the holidays, like after New Year's.
Yeah,
and we've gone up a couple times on New Year's. So if you stay in the resorts, there's shit to do.
Right,
because they're open and there's there's a high populace or whatever.
That's good.
But a couple years ago, right after our wedding, which was in the middle of September, would have been right because their summer season closes after Labor Day. So it's like Memorial Day to Labor Day, like all the outdoor shit's open and like all the other crap. Like their season's it ends right after Labor Day weekend. They close everything up. So we went like in the middle of September to the same resort we go to all the time, and it's one of the huge ones. So it's a big old sprawling thing, but like. Middle of September, the season just ended, so they had like half the shit. Like even all the indoor stuff was like shut the fuck down.
It's weird that they would still close the indoor stuff.
It's their only because they know nobody's gonna be there comparatively because the season just ended.
Yeah,
so like,
it's probably cheaper to just
and it's the only time they can get
order
into
it up and call it a day.
Yeah, and it's the only time like that chunk before the holidays because once the holidays kick in, people are going again. Even if it's all indoor shit. Yeah. So like they're really like that September, October time, specifically September is probably when they can actually service all the shit that stays open every single day and is running all the time where they can't like they need this stuff to be upkept at some point.
Right.
That's their only time to maintain it. Yeah. So
that makes sense.
So they empty the pools and it was a ghost town. Like even restaurants in the resort that we go to every time.
That's really weird that they would shut down a restaurant.
Yeah. Because they know that there's nobody in there. Like we had the in-laws they own a mortgage thing or whatever of a suite of rooms in this resort.
Not a mortgage, or like a timeshare, right?
No, it's not a timeshare. They have a mortgage. They are paying off a mortgage. Yeah.
Shit.
It is owned by my in-laws. My father-in-law.
They're still paying a mortgage on that? I thought they've had it for a while.
Yeah, but I mean if it's a 25-year fixed mortgage or whatever the fuck. Like, I mean, and it's going to be, sense. And they can't, it's the two of them too. So it's their aunt also.
Okay.
That like co-own the thing. So they can go up whenever they want.
I wonder what the taxes are on that. Probably not bad at all.
Not as crazy as,
especially in the tells with all that.
in Wisconsin, the sales tax is like sub
It's
7%.
low. Yeah,
it was awesome.
But having all that business, I'm sure that
Yeah.
supplements a lot of that.
Yeah, so where it can get kind of timeshare is like they have the suite. It's 2 rooms, so without, let's say it's like 101 or like 100 and 101. I'm not going to give the exact room numbers.
But it's like there's a door in between, right? Like some hotels
exactly.
do. So if you want to connect rooms,
So there's one like lockout room that's like a standard hotel room, just like 2 beds, a little like mini bar, kitchen-y thing, and it's more like a standard like Holiday Inn thing.
Is it stocked at all like a hotel would be, like, or do you have to provide everything like
For that
towels
for the
and
lockout?
all
They
that?
give you base towels and like some basic toiletry shit.
Okay.
like, soap and
So there is like a cleaning service that comes
Yes.
in, kind of like
But so they've got that, and then the other side of the suite. So if it was like 100 and 101, 101 is like a full like little mini condo apartment-y thing.
Okay.
So full kitchen, stocked with everything.
Oh, so it's almost like an extended stay, like hotel.
Yeah, in a way.
Gotcha.
2 full bedrooms, one with a master suite type of deal. There's one for kids, so it's like a bunk bed situation.
Okay.
And then like
That's the one you guys stay in, right?
yeah, and then there's like a full kitchen that leads into the living room, and that's all in one little block.
Oh, wow.
And then
That sounds pretty sweet.
and the whole thing, when you can open it up, you can sleep like 20 people.
Holy shit.
We've done it because we've had fantasy football drafts up there, and we've had the entire crew and their significant
that's cool.
others and everything. Yeah, they all just in the 2 rooms, and we all just hate each other by
Right,
the end of the
yeah.
because it's just
like
good
being
fun.
on tour, man.
Yeah. So like they did that, and so they have like this mortgage on the thing, but they have it where you can rent it out.
Oh,
So
okay.
as people rent the room,
that,
it is supplementing that.
Wow, that's
It's
good.
kind of the thing. So they're paying it off probably quicker than they would be paying off a regular house, but it is still like a
Right.
standard like 20, 30-year mortgage. So it's
Right,
still going to take time
so they're stuck
regardless.
on. Okay.
So yeah, they have this thing. They have a little, we walk in, we have a card that says owner's card, and we slap it down, and they go, okay, cool. And that part's
Right
fun.
this way, sir.
Yeah. So that part's always fun to be able to be like, we're the kings around here. Congratulations. Like that type of horseshit.
We own this shit.
Which means nothing. There's no additional perk
King of the
outside
Dells, man.
outside of me saying that, like, there's no other additional perk to it. It's just fun for us to go.
Get your cheese through me. But
Exactly. Yeah. I am your cheese grater, my friend. I don't even know where I was going with it, but the fact they've got that up there, and that's where we go. And I forgot where I was meandering off to from there. So
Yeah, why the fuck did we get on that?
I don't know. I got on some weird tangent. So we were talking about the downtown being closed and shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something
Something
else
about the
yells.
off season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's all gone now.
There it goes.
Dude,
yeah.
Again, I'm just off the highway. We should be happy I've put in as much time as I have, frankly, without my brain
Oh, you're doing
popping.
good.
So, yeah,
I
all things
like it.
considered. So
I was hoping we catch Dave in time. Maybe we still got time. We can still fuck around a little bit.
yeah, it'll be like right as I'm coming
Ready
out,
to
he'll
leave, like
pull
he'll
up.
come down. I'll just do another. I'll just do a second episode and make it a backlog.
There you go. You could. Okay.
That would ruin me probably.
Your brain would break. Yeah.
I don't know if. I mean, don't get me wrong. I can talk.
I didn't know. I'm shocked I didn't know he had a backlog of.
I didn't know
podcast
that
stuff.
either. Yeah. So Dave's show, podcast that, which I'm sure some of you guys have checked out. You can still check it out. It's still on like Spotify and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
it's still out there. He hasn't done a new episode in a while, but
I think he only has like 2-3 episodes up, maybe 4 even, maybe. I can't remember.
I think it's like 5 or 6 actually.
They're really fucking funny, and I forgot. Yeah, he did a bunch that he hasn't released that he's kind of sitting on. It's funny. People ask me about his show every once in a while. They're like, "Hey man, what happened to like podcast that?" I'm like, what the fuck? Because I kind of like co-engineer that one.
Nobody could find it. That's why people lost their minds.
But
he did 5 episodes.
okay,
The last one technically was posted in like April. So
Holy shit.
it has been a little bit since he's put one up.
well he really wants to revamp it and streamline it a little bit more because it does. I guess maybe he's never said it, but imagine it's kind of like so you can kind of be a little bit different than us, you know? Whereas this is like one long continuous thing, you know, where he kind of wants to have like these segments, and rightfully so, like to just give it some semblance of, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. Can't think of it, but
He wants it to have like a little more of a closed format. Like
Yeah.
it's actually got bits to it that are going to be
gonna be
set in
sections
every-
of it, yeah. Which is difficult to do because like to stay on task like that is rough. Like, especially the way he's set up, because it's so very like, it's similar to this where it's just like you're just spitting out ideas. Like he actually comes out with stuff written down, which is nice.
Yeah.
And has bulletin points to go through.
Consistency would absolutely be the key to that. Like
for his show,
if you do like a co-hosty, like if you are Conan O'Brien and you need an Andy Richter.
I'm more of his Andy Richter, but I like engineer,
right,
kind of, and keep track of everything for him so he can concentrate on his thing.
Yeah, so if your face isn't a board, you're not paying attention anyway. Like you can't be fully engaged.
It's not too bad for when I did do it, like because there's a couple episodes I just didn't have the time. I couldn't make it out to help him, and just kind of keep an eye on stuff for him, and so he can concentrate. Which has got to be fucking nice, Dave, because I don't have that fucking luxury. Especially when we did the live stream. Holy shit, that was like, okay, is that working? That's working. That's going. That's not going. This is going. I got to like, oh yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah, that's real funny. And I was that was like, holy shit. Talk about getting pulled in every direction.
You need a proper driver for that.
Which is why I'm like, I get jealous when I watch your mom's house podcast, where it's like they have two dudes, and maybe even more than that, because I know, like, I don't know what Josh Potter does in the back, but like he's always in that engineering room.
He was a radio producer too, so he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, he knows his shit for sure.
They've got three dudes that are constantly
right.
Potter
There's always
he's on the payroll for that.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah.
So it's Potter and the two other dudes that are actually like their producers.
What's the dude's name? The redhead, like Israeli dude. They call him like
Naveen.
It's something like that.
Yeah,
but they call him Blue Man.
It's like Rob, or no, Blue Man is the fatty ginger dude.
Yeah. It's Nav, something like that.
No, that dude's name he's something else. He's been on it for a while though. No.
But anyway, so like they have him doing like sound bites and setting up video and all that, which is great. And they don't have to worry about that. And then like the other dude is controlling the video, which is like, I wish I could do that. We only have the one camera.
Though it's fascinating to see like the old video streams of it though, when Segura is doing all of it. Like they had
I haven't watched any of those.
They used to have Blue Band like off to the side that would help at one point. But like if you watch some of the old ones where they're still doing it from their house.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of those. I've only seen the ones where they've been in that studio.
Yeah, so Segura's doing he's doing that shit while having the conversation. Like he's pulling it up on the screen, like they've got the monitor and all that. Like he's doing all that
I have
stuff.
Seen an episode like that. Yeah.
So he at one point that was the whole deal. And when they weren't doing the interviews either, like they're just talking and like here's some clips.
He's trying to that's not easy.
No, not at all. I can't imagine. And now that shit has become such a monolith with them. They do like 2 interviews. They do their whole they're now 3-hour episodes because they're doing multiple interviews on that thing. And they're
which I'm surprised that why don't they just backlog it? Because it seems like there are some of those episodes are like a backlog.
They are backlogging some of them, but they put like 1 or 2 interviews on that are like at least an hour each, and then they do their own thing, which is the first like 45 minutes now is like the format they're doing.
Right, where they go over the videos and the TikToks.
So
and
every single I was cool with you guys being an hour and a half. Like I'm cool with the long form shit. Right. Like I listen to a lot of podcasts. And
most people do.
Yeah, and having like a weird backlog now, like I genuinely don't have time to like catch up on some of these.
Yeah,
like,
it's hard to do.
Yeah, and I do it pretty consistently. But like if you have a Rogan one where they're like 3 hours,
those
like
are
you're
long
fucked.
And then your mom's house, that's
your mom's house now is a long one.
And then us who are nowhere near as good as that.
Yeah, like I mean, if you're listening to 3 hours of these pretty consistently, thank you guys. Like it's truly like
do appreciate it
because we're not famous. Whether you know that or not, none of us are.
We're famous in our little circle.
Yeah,
right? People know who we are.
People know who you are.
I guess so.
I'm just the guy out of the cocoon again.
They think I'm either Pete's brother or Jason's brother or who else do we get mixed up for? Some other long-haired bearded guy.
And then there was the 2 weeks where you were a fat shit cunt.
Well, that still is in effect.
I thought Dave was going to join us so we could really get the gang back together for a new episode of 3 Fat Shit Cunts Talk About Nothing.
Yeah, but he unfortunately is at a dinner party with his family. So, like I said, if this goes long enough, he might show up and we can talk about it. But
here's some audio from that dinner party.
Oh, you got some? That was quick.
Sequins corsets, man. I'm talking about cheetah nut sacks with strings and chains, man. Black, shiny things, man. Black skin pale, lights, strobe lights,
is that
singing
you?
mics, red lipstick.
No, it's on Catatonic Youth says.
Butt cheeks. I'm talking like pleather tights.
What the fuck is that?
It's Fred Durst.
Man, I'm talking about cheetah nut sacks with strings and chains.
Oh my God, I do remember that. Yeah.
It's cheetah nut sacks.
Speaking of comeback, they're back in full force.
Are they on the soil tour?
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
They're too big for that.
Oh, I bet
They're doing like arenas.
That's mortifying that they can still pull
Just
that.
nowhere near a major city, but they're doing arenas. There is a demand for them, I guess.
I feel like it's all in the South. I feel like they're probably still huge in like Oklahoma.
And sections in the Midwest that aren't Chicago.
Of course, yeah. Iowa.
That's usually how those markets are.
That's biscuit country, baby.
It's weird that. I mean, I guess it's not weird. It's interesting because like how different the music scene is all over this fucking country. Where like, Chicago is a weird place because everything moves so fucking fast when it comes to the like bands. Like,
Yeah.
this week it's this band, next week it's that band, and like, or even like it's this month it's this genre,
Right.
and then that's gone, and the next one, and then the next one, but there's so many places outside of that where it's like, nope, we latched onto this,
Yeah.
and we're gonna hold on to it, like.
We still have our Jinkos here in Lincoln, Nebraska, or whatever the fuck. Yeah.
Yeah, there's some places like that.
Yeah.
Like I still get surprised when I'm out with like Soil and stuff, and I'm going out with Nonpoint.
Oh, nice.
I got the call the other day. Yeah, it was really
Hey.
cool. And I was like, holy shit. I was like, it's been forever since I've done any work for them.
Okay.
Because I brought it up before, they do long ass fucking runs because they can. They're so fucking popular
Still,
that
yeah.
like they draw like a motherfucker. So, obviously, it's most beneficial for them to go out for so long. Because if they're going to do it, they're going to fucking do it. Because those dudes are older, they got kids, like.
Yeah.
So
They
I
want to make it worth their while. Yeah.
Exactly. And it's crazy because I follow them on Instagram, and it's just like insane to see the shows like they're playing, like fucking packed, sold out shows, like in large clubs, not
Because when
small.
did that band form? I know it's not like the same lineup by any stretch. There's like probably one guy that's an
Two original members. There's
Even
Rob the
that's-
drummer, and then Elias the singer.
Okay.
Which, no offense, I don't think Rob listens to this, but like Elias probably having him be in the band this whole time has definitely been beneficial to that band staying afloat.
Okay.
Because that's with any band, like a vocalist, somebody as like iconic as like Elias is. Like if you see Elias, it's him from Nonpoint. You hear his voice, it's him.
Yeah.
So I think that's definitely helped that band a lot. But I remember hearing them in high school when they came out with, I believe it was Statement was the first album.
Okay.
And that was like 2001.
Okay. So
2002.
like 20 something years. at this
So
point,
long
yeah.
ago now. Yeah.
We were
'cause,
listening
like,
to when we were up there in the old Wisconsin. I had my satellite radio going in the 20s.
do you listen to what the fuck is it? Oh, we were making fun of Rosie because she like
It was none of the metal stations that we were listening to. But you bringing up the fact that Nonpoint's like a 20+ year band, like, is crazy.
they do huge on was the big metal one like Octane, I think.
Okay.
Is that the one?
That's like high octane 45,
Something like that.
Yeah,
they do
yeah.
really well on that. Every time they release a single, it's like it usually hits like
kills.
number one in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So one of the first few, like it was for Jess, but it was like 80s on 8 or whatever the fuck, like one of the, or
cool.
like 90s on 9, one of those
Yeah,
ones
for
that are
sure.
just playing all that shit. And
There's a really good grunge one that I love. Like
Okay.
whenever Alex is in town and she's got her mom's car and that
throw
has
that
satellite
in.
radio, like that's on
Okay.
like immediately. I was like, oh, I love this.
I'll have to find that one too. I haven't done too much digging. My like trial subscription's up in like 5 days, I think.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so it's one of those.
Get it in
because it
while
was
you
one of
can.
those like things.
It came
like,
with the car, right?
Yeah, 3 months or whatever.
My folks got that with the Prius. And
Yeah.
like, oh, this is awesome.
I have
not paying for it.
I have a funny story with that with my old car, actually. With that,
Satellite radio.
yeah, I'll tell that one in a second.
See, you got
But
fucking stories.
that one is just a weird fluke thing, like weird tech fluke. I'll explain myself with that in a sec. So we're listening to, I think it was like 90s on 9 or something, like one of the real bass ones where they're playing like pop hits from the 90s or whatever. And some of these stations have like guys that are like relics from that time. Like 80s on 8 has like Downtown Julie Brown is like a DJ on it.
Holy
that's
shit.
like announcing the songs.
I think there's some Q101 dudes that are floating around.
I can
on
imagine
those.
that too, yeah. But the 90s one, I think this was the 90s one, has Mark McGrath of Sugar Ray as one of the like DJs on it. Just as like, that's a gig he's doing. And
Sure, that draws.
yeah. Oh God. Well, so he brings up like that he was on some shitty reality show and they wanted to get some B-roll of him like in the studio with guys in Sugar Ray or whatever. And he was like, yeah, so I'm jamming out with one of the guys in Sugar Ray and like he's one of the masterminds of the band and I've known him for 30+ years. I was like, oh my God, Sugar Ray has been around.
back hurts. The back hurts here.
Yeah, I was like, that band specific, like I Just Want to Fly is now like a 30-year-old track or some fucking horseshit. Like
that's a classic now.
it's timeless. Yeah. And then when we
It's
start
not.
running out of bands that are supposed to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because none of them lasted, Sugar Ray's going to be considered just because they're still active. Like there's
Ooh,
going to
that's
be
a good fucking point.
there's going to be a really dark time where a lot of these bands that like pickings will be slim for what you can do. Like
absolutely.
if Maynard's truly a rapist, Tool's out.
right, that's not
Radiohead
gonna
will
be
get
saying.
in.
Are they not in?
I
thought they
think so.
got in recently.
Maybe. Then it was like within the last 2 years. But
I
I'm
think
like
so.
that's like the level of example we're talking
Yeah,
about.
but that's 90s.
Yeah.
That's late 90s
Exactly.
at most.
So
you
like
know?
Green Day will make it in
yeah,
for sure.
But these are all the giants that kept it going.
Those are the ones that
you know?
get in. Like it's not going to
Oh, yeah.
be like some underground shit because like it's like
Well,
the Nirvanas of the world that get into those things.
I'm trying to think of like any long-lasting bands post like 2010.
Yeah, you can't. Is Metallica in? Metallica would have to get in. Like it's one of those. Like
yeah, they're definitely in.
Yeah.
They have to be.
I like.
If they're not, they're gonna be. Like,
Yeah. So like it's those. It's like the last. Because
Yeah,
what
what I
else
mean-
lasts long enough where they can meet the standards?
Well,
They
like-
would have to truncate the standards for what it is. Like
this band had a great hit single. Let's just throw them in there.
Smash Mouth. Like, it's going to be like
that bar will never go that low.
All Star is going to be like getting
God,
them in.
no.
Like
Fuck no.
it's. Oh God.
People would riot if that happened.
So now that Jess is listening, though,
That is a good point. Like
Yeah.
because like I said, like I mean, I can't think. I'm sure there are, but like I can't think of bands like
They're running
I
out
said
of them.
post 2010 that let's say they started in 2010. How many of them are still going?
They-
There's probably not many. You know, if you weren't already an established band, which is like an argument that I always had with because the big thing always being the Kickstarters for bands' albums and stuff like that. And obviously, if you're already a huge established band,
yeah.
getting that goal is probably not the hardest thing to do because people already know you. You're in the public eye and to a great extent. So yeah, they're like, yeah, I want another album of that. Unless you're Orgy and nobody fucking pays for any of that shit.
Yeah.
Did you ever see that?
No. but-
Holy fucking shit. They did a GoFundMe or whatever for their album.
Okay.
And this is back, you can look it up. It's so fucking funny. This is back in like early 2010, I think. And they had like not a very modest goal. They were like, we need like,
$5,000.
no,
Yeah.
wait, no, we like we're talking like 50,000 something, 60,000.
Okay.
We're like, this is our goal if
But
we
that's
want
like
to
for bass production stuff. Like,
right. They
yeah.
to release an album and to do a tour and this, and that. They're like, help us out. I think they barely broke 1,000. Yeah.
Oh,
And I was like, holy shit, the people have spoke.
Yeah,
you know, like
they are
that
not
is
interested.
crazy.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Wow.
And I forgot, but yeah, that's the thing is like, so I guess it isn't really about being because I mean, that was a band that everybody knew.
Yeah.
And everybody that's still alive probably knows that fucking band,
Yeah.
like to
I'm
some degree.
I'm literally like running through like, we're not huge with like, you know, like this, like a Fountains of Wayne get in. Or like something like that. Like the Killers. I don't even know if they're still a band. Like,
I don't know.
God, wait. Like Flaming Lips probably can get in.
Yeah.
That's one that I think will be able
yeah,
to,
I can
because they've
see
been
that.
around long enough and they had an album that's old now and all that
Right.
shit. But like I know that there's metal bands.
See, that's still pre 2010.
Right.
You know?
So like, but we're looking way in the future then for those like 2010 and now, but I'm just talking like, so like Between the Buried and Me has been around for,
They'll never make it in there.
right. They'll never make it in, but like at some point, like it's just a band that's had that longevity. Like
Yeah,
at some
people
point,
argue that though, where they're like, you know what, just because they've been around this long doesn't mean they deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. And I can kind of see that, but like to your point, well, that's it. That's the only band still around that's still doing it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, do you have to
at
give it
some
to
po-
them? You know,
Yeah. At some point you'll almost have to like the band, like Clutch has been around
Oh,
20
man.
something years. They've pumped out but nobody,
one of the like more iconic bands that any musician is like, yeah, that's the band that like got
Yeah.
me to do this.
and there's
you
some of
know?
those that sneak in too, but like,
Yeah, those are few and far between.
yeah, but that's all that's left now.
It might come down to that point where like, fuck, we're running out. We got to put these guys in.
Yeah.
You know? We got to put something in
Solely
there.
because they have this body of work.
But it's
like,
it's because like wasn't there like controversy where like they were starting to bring in people that weren't rock and roll technically?
yeah,
you
they're
know,
good-
like pop stars.
Well,
and
yeah,
stuff
they're
like
sneaking
that.
in pop music and rap shit now too.
And people are yelling about that. And
Yeah.
you know, get your own. You know?
yeah, what's the? Yeah, wait, well, who the fuck? Oh,
I know
God.
there was one recently that people were pretty upset about. It was
Run,
like some,
Run DMC when they.
no, it wasn't that one, but
they were
that
one
is
of the
one of
first.
them.
People
Yeah, yeah.
bitch, but they were like, yeah, but they did that song with Aerosmith, so they can get it.
It's a crossover.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So yeah, they're either going to have to widen their net, or
It'll be the Music Hall of Fame at some point.
or
It's
they're
gonna
going to
change.
let in some really interesting, kitschier shit that's just sort of lasted.
But
And I'm only bringing up like a Between the Buried and Me as an example solely because of body of work. They've been together continuously for this long. And I need to do the research again on what the merits of getting in are. But it's something like you're in a band that has existed and like an album that you release is at least 25 something years old. I believe is some
like
of
the baseline.
Yes.
For it.
I believe is like.
And like who votes on that?
Just like, I'm sure they're fucking.
Is there like a
board of directors thing? I'm sure. Yeah.
A panel that's like, all right, you guys hear this band?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've been around for a while.
Some
all right,
weird recording like Illuminati thing.
I mean, that's like the whole thing with like award shows for what's the music one?
Grammys.
And that's how much I pay attention.
Yeah.
That's always interesting because the people that vote on the Grammys are all engineers and producers and stuff like that. It's their vote that goes into the bands.
Right.
And so that's why it's almost always the same guys that vote on it. And that's why it's always been this very like pop star oriented, because they're all the big ones going through.
Yeah.
And you never see anything like remotely underground like get voted in there, because like their engineers, most of those engineers do not have a Grammy nomination ability, you know.
Yeah, and they have no.
And
clue
even
what
if they did, not gonna happen.
God, like Born of Osiris is gonna get in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They just
Still
need
going.
they just need to stick together. That's all.
They're still going. I might be able to pull it off.
I'm only leaving to grab my phone that I threw because I genuinely now want to see if Metallica's in yet.
I almost want to say there. Go ahead, take a look, but I would assume just because how long?
It's within the last like 5 years. Like
I would agree. It's probably more recently.
Yeah, it's
than
not
anything.
like they let them in 2005 or anything.
No.
So,
do you know what just popped in my head? It was like I forgot the show, but it was like they were essentially, maybe you remember it, but like it was almost like a Hall of Fame type thing where like they're kind of, you know, like talking about a band that's been around forever and like hyping them up, and the whole shtick was they'd have other bands cover their songs, and it was one for Metallica. And I remember like Avril Lavigne did a fucking Metallica song, which was god awful, and then Korn did one. And it was so fucking funny because they got to the solo section of one and they didn't do it. They were like, that's the end of the song. They did the breakdown part and that was it.
All right. So
like,
apparently Metallica's been in since 2009. That's how.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's relatively recent, 10 years ago. That's not that long ago, considering they started late 60s, 70s, maybe?
70s. I believe like the first.
When did Kill 'Em All come out?
Yeah, I want to say like 79 or some shit.
It was earlier than that.
Well, Newstead played in the band from 86 to 2001. To put that in
He did a
perspective.
pretty good long.
He did, yeah. That's all in this article too. It's not like something I just pulled up. So, yeah, if there's any diehards that like knew the shit offhand that were screaming, I'm
I know.
sorry.
I got
like
friends that are huge fans. They're yelling at their phones or stereo.
I felt like for active bands though, like didn't realize they would have let them in that long ago. So like, is Slayer in? Now I got to look up Slayer.
There's no fucking way Slayer's in. There's no way.
So that's one that you would have to.
I would say
and body
yes.
work, they have to get in.
Considering they, who they are, what they've done, how big of an influence they are on all
they worked
things
with Rick
rock.
Rubin. Rick Rubin's a god. Like, what the fuck? So, yeah, they have to. Yeah, they're still not in.
Yeah, see, I think it's too heavy. It's not commercial enough.
Of any of them, though, that would have been one.
They definitely deserve to be
so
in
like
there.
Pantera, Judas Priest, and Slayer should be 2019 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees. This was written in October 2018. So they're talking like, these are bands that you need to let
who are nominated right now?
It doesn't say that. It says Pantera, Judas Priest, and Slayer need to be at least considered
somebody's
nominees.
saying
so
they
yeah,
should
there's
be.
some bands too. Like Pantera, technically,
How
you
is,
think would have.
I'm not even a
Judas
fan
Priest
of Judas Priest.
Yeah,
but that's mind blowing that they're not.
Yeah, and
that's
like the
fucking
Eagles
absurd.
are or some shit. Like, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the fuck is that? That's crazy.
So yeah, if you're talking, I mean,
what about Maiden? Is Maiden on there?
I doubt it. I mean,
if they're not, they're probably not Maiden. That's another. Like I don't like. Not a fan of Maiden. Never really listened to Maiden, but I feel like that's a band that should definitely be in like a fucking Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Like, geez.
Yeah, and that's
crazy.
Yeah.
Pantera, I can see not being in there.
Oh, here we go. So this is just a base one.
When did they do this? At the end of the year or something?
I don't.
I have no idea either.
So it's Yeah.
Not my world. Yeah.
Other bands yet to be inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame include Motorhead, Judas Priest, Jethro Tull, King Crimson. King Crimson probably would either. Unveiled earlier
Jason would
this month.
disagree with that.
Okay, sorry, Jason. Come on the show and defend them. Unveiled earlier this month, the nominations for the 2019 class were Def Leppard, Stevie Nicks, the Zombies,
Okay.
Fleetwood Mac at least.
Yeah.
It's a
All
body
right.
work thing.
Yeah, for sure. I love Stevie Nicks, but I'm sorry.
Okay,
Go on.
these were the 2019 class. Okay,
for
and this
this
actually
year.
knocks out a couple that should have been considered. Radiohead was in there.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
The Cure was in there. Makes sense.
Wow. I'm surprised they weren't actually in there earlier.
Yeah. Todd Rundgren, which is just funny to me. I'm just reading the list
Who's
of this
Todd
one.
Rundgren?
Exactly. No, he's big in something.
I
just
don't know who
couldn't
that
tell
is.
you. Rage Against the Machine and MC5.
Cool.
So Rage got in there too, or at least was a nominee in this
That's
year's
awesome.
class.
They
So
deserve it.
And that's another one. Like Radiohead, like you just knocked out two of the big ones that I thought would have been left.
Right,
From
and now
our
they're-
generation, or Radiohead and Rage Against the Machine.
All right.
Now who? Like Soundgarden, you can probably sneak in there. What other grunge? Like
Yeah,
Pearl Jam,
yeah.
like those grunge bands that are still hanging around. Like you would have to. Dude,
I
yeah,
like
but they're
Pearl
still
Jam,
they're
but-
the only one that's still around in some capacity. So like
No. Wait. Alice in Chains.
they're long dead.
No, they're back. Because of the vocalist.
That shit doesn't count.
That shit is good though. That new shit is fucking awesome.
Lane Staley was a gad.
I get, dude. The new guy's fucking phenomenal.
I know, and I'm sure he sounds exactly like it. But like, if you want to talk, I mean, again, for me, if you're talking about a dude that really sounded like, if you're talking about the sound of a band,
You'd be surprised how
I'm sure
Still
he approximates.
it's not even that. It's I didn't realize how much Jerry Cantrell contributed vocally to that band.
Oh, he does a lot of backing. Yeah.
Yeah, and so like they don't miss too much of a step with that band because of him.
Yeah. Okay.
Which is crazy.
So this is specifically all Bruce Dickinson of Iron Maiden ripping into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for never being included. So like that ship has sailed.
He's like, I will crash my jet into that fucker.
Now I gotta find. Fuck. All these music assholes now that are going to be listening are going to be like, how do you not know offhand who these guys are? Todd Rundgren.
Oh, fuck you guys. Leave it in the comments, you motherfuckers.
Yeah, you can send it. Yeah.
You can tell us how we're idiots on here. It's
I'm
fun.
now getting hit up by people that are listening to the show who I didn't realize. So,
Really?
Speaking of, well, Adam from Thieves. Yeah, he hit me up. And I
Oh,
didn't
really?
know who he was. So, hey.
That's so funny. Nice.
Let's see here. Who the fuck are you, guy? Now I'm just on my phone. I'm very sorry.
No, it's okay. I feel like I'm doing it with Jason again. It's okay.
Solo artist is a member of the band Utopia. Rundgren probably writes songs, right? Yeah, he
Must be a huge, it's the writer.
Yeah, Ringo Starr and his all-star band is one of his credited things.
The name kind of sounds familiar.
He wrote a bunch of songs that were hits for other people.
Gotcha.
Oh, he wrote "Bang the Drum All Day." I don't want to work. I want to bang on the drum. all
Okay,
day.
he earned it.
Yeah, that song alone. Yeah, he's good.
Fuck yeah.
Okay.
Give that guy two.
Production
sections
credits
in there.
include Badfinger, Straight Up, Grand Funk Railroads, We're an American Band, New York Dolls, self-titled, Meatloaf's Bad Out of Hell.
Holy shit.
Okay,
so this guy's a heavy fucking
Yeah,
hitter.
so he's more background stuff, but
Wow.
yeah, and
I didn't know they nominated dudes like that.
I'm sure there's some production guys in there for sure too.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. That's cool. Because like most of those guys, I feel like never get credit for shit.
No, yeah,
Huh.
it's like when you watch if you ever watch the Oscars and they're like, here's the video editing award, and they get
Do
whopping
they never
10
even
seconds.
show that shit though, do
They sneak a couple of those in just to like.
Because the Grammys is the same thing when they show them. They don't. They have a metal or rock section, but
That
it
never
never
makes the main
airs.
show.
It hasn't
Yeah.
aired ever.
Yeah, it never makes the main show. So
You can. I think you can like look it up online and find.
yeah, because it
the-
happens earlier in the day. There's like a
Right,
whole
yeah.
block that they announce like.
And they do all the. Because wasn't that like a big, not necessarily a controversy, but it was like they broke it down where it was like how many nominations they showed to the amount of music they showed, and it was like live music was like, poof, and like the actual nominations are so like back burner.
It was like the elite like 8 awards, and then it was just a bunch of
I don't even
guys.
think it's that many. I think it's less than that. They show.
I can see it.
It's
yeah.
usually like album of the year, artist of the year.
They do some specific like they'll do R&B vocal.
Right.
Like, they sneak in a couple random
R&B and like pop and what else? Like
Yeah.
it's so very limited to considering that there are a fuck ton of categories, isn't there? Yeah.
ones. Yeah.
So it's
Which probably
so
spanned a much
weird.
wider net back in the day too. So
Yeah. But it's such a bummer for the behind the scenes people and the people like in those genres.
the ones
They're
that actually
so-
make them sound good.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
never
Like Taylor Swift would have sounded like shit without all the team of people that were with her doing all that shit. And like, you know.
Well, like I'm trying to think. I remember seeing there was an article one time where they were like showing, they're like, here's this guy that's like always at the Grammys. Who is he? And then they break it down that he was like this massive writer for pop songs. Like he wrote everything
is
that
it Max
year.
Martin?
I don't know.
Because,
I can't remember the name.
Dude,
It's probably
if you're talking about like those behind the scenes guys that like are secretly like
the ghostwriters and all
monoliths,
that stuff. Yeah.
look up Max Martin.
Oh yeah, that's probably him then. Yeah.
Dude,
and the other big one was and they're still around, is like the Matrix.
Yes.
Which is essentially a team out in like Sweden or something like that. It's like 3-4 people.
Todd Martin
together.
is also like Swedish or Scandinavian or
yeah, isn't that
shit.
weird? It's like nobody from the States.
He wrote, this dude is like now like in his mid 40s or 50s. He
still writing
He
hits.
wrote Britney Spears' "I'm Not a Girl, Not Yet a Woman." This dude's like not
Isn't that
even
funny?
It's not even, he's so far
removed from that subject material.
Yeah,
and he's like writing
Max
about
Martin.
it.
Did I say Todd? I said Max. I mean,
No, you
Max.
said Max. Yeah.
Okay. Then I was looking up. There we go. Swedish record producer. Yeah. So he's Swedish. Net worth $260 million. Fuck. Because of all the fucking hits after hits after hits after hit. All right. This is just, it's
What
me
a
running
gig.
down his IMDb at this point. But this dude, if you're talking about guys that just write fucking pop, we're talking the poppiest of the pop.
Dude's got it down.
Wrote Baby One More Time
Hold
for
on.
Britney Spears.
You do. I have to pee so
Yeah.
bad. So this is a good time.
Yeah,
so
go,
you
go, go.
you do that.
This dude wrote Baby One More Time for Britney Spears. I Want It That Way for Backstreet Boys. In Sync shit. Yeah. In Sync shit. Let's see here. All right. For the audience, Martin has written or co-written 22 Billboard Hot 100 #1 hits, most of which he has produced or co-produced. Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl, Blank Space by Taylor Swift, Can't Feel My Face by The Weeknd, I Can't Feel My Face When I'm With You, that song. Martin is the songwriter with the third most #1 singles on the chart, behind only Paul McCartney at 32 and John Lennon at 26. He's written 22, which is just unfathomable. He wrote for Adele. He's written for... Yeah, so let me read that to you one more time because I don't think you heard it while you were peeing.
No, I just heard myself peeing.
Perfect. It's strong,
That's
powerful.
why we
stream.
we should put a monitor in the bathroom so that way people can still hear the conversation.
So they know what's up. It's another...
Not a horrible idea, actually. Now I'm thinking about that.
Just one little mic. That's all you need. Max Martin has written or co-written 22 Billboard Hot 100 #1 hits.
Holy shit! No wonder he's worth so much.
Martin is the songwriter with the third most #1 singles on the Billboard chart of all time, behind Paul McCartney's 32 and
That's impressive.
and John Lennon's 26.
2 Beatles right there. Back
Two
to back.
Beatles
That's
and then
crazy.
this Swedish dude that you've never heard speak.
Right? Isn't that fucking crazy?
Yeah. It's
Crazy.
brilliant.
How the industry is, you know.
Yeah. So this is since 1999, he has written or co-written 22 Billboard Hot 100 #1 hits. He's either produced or co-produced all of these.
Fuck.
This
I wonder how many points he has on those. Points being like your
points per-
royalties of it. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
and consider when some of these came out, when these artists were selling 1 million copies of a record in a day.
Right.
Like your Backstreet Boys and NSYNC that's in here.
But what is fortunate for that guy is I'm guaranteed
He's getting
he has
stream shit
royalties.
too now.
Is like all the streams,
Yeah.
all the plays on radio. He's getting like
a
that
massive
dude's
chunk of it. Yeah.
fucking royalty check has to be fucking insane.
He gets more than the actual artists on these.
I'm sure he does.
For sure.
I'm sure
By
he
far.
does. Yeah.
Baby One More Time, Britney Spears. It's going to
Like
be
that dude probably gets like a check that is like good enough for somebody's college tuition.
Yeah.
Like in one royalty
like
check.
every
easily.
month. Like every month, he's buying another house with royalty.
Easily.
shit.
Yeah.
From a song he wrote
man. Let
30
me get
years
that
ago.
gig.
I
Like,
know,
fuck.
dude,
I wonder
it's-
what his history is. I wonder how. I mean, that's like that is the top of networking, basically, to get to where that guy's at.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he started out in some shitty band in like the 70s that really didn't do much of anything.
Yeah.
And then was like, fuck this, I'll be a session musician. And then worked his way up that, and then worked his way up more and more and more. And now he's literally at the fucking top.
Yeah.
Like, and now having a name like that with those kind of credits,
It's
he's
absurd.
set. He's so fucking set.
Yeah.
And that dude could probably retire right now if he wanted to. Like I said, the
by
royalties coming in.
Every big Katy Perry song,
No shit.
most of the major pop Taylor Swift songs, and then like he also did an Adele song.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, what song?
It's it's not on this list, surprisingly. It is that like Send Your Love to Your Lover, that song. It was from the most recent album she did.
Oh, I'm not too familiar with that one.
Shit. This is where I should have done the
How old
research.
is this guy?
Let me look. He is 48.
He's young. He's fucking young.
Yeah. Like
that guy could still keep going.
Yeah, he's been doing this since 99. So Baby One More Time, Britney Spears. Like
right.
That's 99. That's
how
like the first.
huge was that?
Yeah. Think about that from then. These are just Katy Perry songs. I Kissed a Girl. He wrote I Kissed a Girl.
Oh, I like that song.
Yep.
There's a good low pedal G in that song, but go on.
He wrote that song. He wrote California Girls.
Okay.
Teenage Dream. These are all Katy Perry songs.
Yeah,
that TGIF, that Last Friday Night song. Part of Me. Like all of her big hits. Roar. The only one that's kind of shaky now is Dark Horse. I don't know if you heard that story recently.
No.
She was sued because that song ripped off a Christian song.
Wait, what?
Katy Perry used to be a Christian artist.
Yeah, I remember.
She recently just lost a lawsuit for infringing on a previous song. Like a Christian rapper had a beat that sounded exactly like this Dark Horse song. And a jury agreed and she had to pay it out.
How does that happen?
Just, yeah.
Nobody is like on the ball with that shit? That's
not
ridiculous.
until years later, apparently.
Somebody fucked up huge on that.
Yeah, he wrote that Can't Feel My Face song by The Weeknd. I can't feel my face when I'm with you.
No.
You would know it if you heard it. It plays at every wedding.
I was
Shake It Off by Taylor
I also
Swift.
did not know
like,
The Weeknd was one person. I thought it was a band. So that's
fair.
I remember one of the episodes aired where I was like, yeah, that band, The Weeknd. And my friend texted me, was like, it's a dude. I was like, oh.
Dude, if you want to talk about shit that would get flagged, if I played 5 seconds of the chorus,
no, that shit would be immediate. Yeah. No, please don't.
But this list is it's obscene. Like
I don't doubt it. Like I wonder.
That's the fucking life, dude.
Because
you don't get any of the bullshit, and you just fucking write songs that people.
You know
just
what? I'm
gobble the
curious
fuck up.
as to what kind of publicity, or PR, goes into that guy, because your average Joe is not going to know. One, probably not know that happens.
Yeah,
they're just like, yeah, they wrote that song.
Yeah.
It's like, no, they didn't.
Yeah, every musician writes their own songs, every note. Yeah.
And I mean, I've never seeked it out. I'm sure it's out there. I'm sure it was like a decent Google search. Like in 2 seconds, you can find some interview with that guy.
Yeah.
But those have to be few and far between, you know?
Yeah. And it's probably, I bet there's a couple videos where it's just like, here's me in the studio. And he's like pretending to make a beat
like
that no one can see.
A couple hundred views, you know?
Yeah. Like,
because he's not the pretty girl or the handsome guy.
Yeah, he looks,
singing those parts.
Dude, he looks like
pretty run of the mill average guy.
He looks like he would fit in Meshuggah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not even like that.
That's even funnier.
Yeah, it's not that far. Like, he's just a Swedish dude with long hair. Like, there you go. This guy looks pretty fucking metal.
Oh, wow. Very unassuming.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, he's probably just a dude that wants to be left the fuck alone and just write some songs. Like,
that's so crazy.
And he just has this ear for just fucking earworm shit. And
it's a talent. There's no denying it, man. I always talk about that. Like being able to write. That's crazy. Be able to write something that's catchy.
Yeah.
Fuck that. That shit's hard.
And just being a ghostwriter of like any type with that is just like guys write vocals and guys write all this other shit. And you think of like, dude, like.
Well, that's how a lot of those artists start out too. Like I know the one that pops in my head right away is Kesha. Was a songwriter for the longest fucking time.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got some crazy hits to her name too.
Yeah.
And people made fun of her all the time, but she can, like her shit was childish or whatever the fuck, but like.
Yeah, but people liked it, whether they knew it or not, you know? And it was funny because obviously she got to a point where she made enough money that she's like, all right, going to produce my own album and I'm going to push the Kesha name and go from there. And it seemed to work in her favor for a little bit, but now
well, part of that is...
Well, she had that whole thing.
Some crazy abuse shit and all this other wild stuff. And then the other one that's crazy is, going back to Taylor Swift now, the dude that, what's his, Scooter Braun, like managed Bieber and shit. And he's one of those dudes.
Right.
He bought Taylor Swift's entire back catalog. So everything she does now, money just goes back into that dude's pocket now.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
How the fuck did she let that happen?
She didn't. The label did.
Oh,
The label was closing up, and they were just like, so
liquidating
these are up for,
licenses.
And like her old shit, like when she was like a country artist, not a pop thing.
How would they not give her the option to be like, yo, you want to buy? Like, he must have just knew somebody and got in there.
Well, she lost her shit on it. Like this was a big deal.
Sure,
she went on something being like, this guy was like abusive to me. He ruined my life, and now he
owns all the rights to her music.
Yeah, and like
probably licensing out the worst shit possible.
Yeah,
like
and he
VW commercial.
Exactly. Yeah, Blank Space Baby, and like Jetta's driving along or some shit. And but it was all like when she was like more of a country thing.
Okay.
Before like the big pop boom crap. So like that was a super tiny label that had no bearing to it. And the guy was literally like, before we could even give her an offer, that Scooter Braun guy just came in and was just like, here you go. Here's a shit, like just a fucking, and just
that's business, baby.
Just fucked her.
That's crazy.
And like the most famous story of that is Michael Jackson buying the Beatles shit.
Right. Yeah. But that was such a weird thing because he essentially was doing that as like to help them out, but really was like, oh, I'm gonna fuck you over.
But also now Beatles songs are in every commercial. Yeah.
Right. Because he had to sell the rights to it and he didn't even sell it back to them, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah, like that part of the business where it gets that shady and shitty and just like the undercutting, because like truly like, and that's the other thing too, like Taylor Swift, whatever you think of her, she views herself as an artist, you know, and like all of these people in the music business come at it with an artistic lens. Mm-hmm. Very, very few, an infinitesimal amount are looking at it from a business perspective in any capacity. Unless they go into it being like, I am truly a brand.
I think somebody like a Kesha is definitely going into business angle because she knows it.
And she came in from that direction. Yeah, but if you're talking like your random, just like run-of-the-mill pop star, they're so young, dumb, and whatever the fuck. They have no clue what they're in for.
Oh, yeah. So, I mean, that's why these bands get into like some troublesome deals and contracts that are just like a total like fuck over. They just don't know. They don't care because I'm on a label. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've heard horror stories from friends that are, were on a label or got offers from a label and they were smart enough to be like, I don't fucking want that. But the other side of it is they're like, fine. They go to the next band. And eventually they're going to find that band that's like, we'll sign it. Yeah. It happened to, I think we talked about it before. So Small Town Murder got an offer from some label. I forgot what it was. I can't think of it right now.
I think I remember. I think it was Media Scare.
It might have been.
With a SKARE.
Yes, yeah. And they
long defunct.
And they were young too when they got this offer. They were probably in their teens, maybe early 20s, if even that.
Okay.
And we're smart enough to be like, well, let's see the contract. We're going to go over it with some people that know better than us. And right away they're like, yeah, this is not in your favor. Like this is, you might want to come back and tell them, let's do this, and this. So they did that. They're like, yo, we want it like this. And they're like, all right, see you later.
Yep.
And that's when they got Burn the Remains.
Wow.
And we talked to them about it, and they're like, yeah, we kind of got screwed over with that deal. So that band is defunct only because they can't do anything under the name of that band without losing a ton of money. Because whatever they make has to go back to the label because that's their deal.
No shit.
Yeah. Okay. Which sucks because that band fucking rules. Not Burn the Remains. That's somebody else's band. Right? Oh, fuck. Somebody's yelling right now at the radio.
No, I'm just trying to like look these up.
They fucking rule. Now I can't think of the name of it.
I feel like I knew that story too.
Yeah, it's a pretty, I wouldn't say famous, but it's a pretty well-known story amongst like our circle.
And I feel like it was that Media Scare. Oh, they're still around. They got bought out by Century Media. They're like a subset of them now.
Okay, that makes sense.
So I probably shouldn't talk this much shit because they're still active.
Whatever.
Interesting.
We're not gonna sign anything.
I was gonna say, I'm just looking for a band that says like Rising in there or Ruins or
no. What the fuck? They rule. I'm gonna look at my Spotify real quick. This is great for camera. We're on our fucking phones. It's like being right there, huh, guys?
No, this goes back to what we were talking about earlier, where we can have the conversation without needing to know the answer to everything. But now I need to know the answer.
Now I need to know.
I need to know how poorly I was off about Metallica getting into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I hate the new setup of Spot. Do you use Spotify?
No,
not at iTunes. Man, they updated it in the shittiest way possible.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, man.
Yeah, right? Like everything's out of order. Like I just put it in alphabetical order. I can't even do that. I can't sort everything by alphabetical order. So like a fucking dickhead, I have to go through all this shit like this.
And here's some music while we wait.
Yeah, give me some good background music. Oh, fuck.
till I can't no more. I got the horses in the back, horse jackies and cash, and he's mad black, got the boots that's white to match. Running on a horse.
Oh man, so many people are probably yelling right now. Like, Bill, you're a fucking idiot.
That is such a specific, like, Jun 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 sound, man.
They also had the one where it was multiple people covering that. What is the original song? What is that?
That's that little Nas X song that's really big now called Old Town Road. He did it with Billy Cyrus.
What?
Yeah, that was the big.
Really?
That was the big gimmick. Was like I think it was originally a Billy Cyrus song, and then
then they covered it.
You know what?
together.
Fuck it. Speaking of catatonic kids, did you see the one of them doing the Disturbed shit with all the karaoke?
Like a smash cut of like the similar thing.
It's all the smash cut of the
Fuck. No, I did not. Go ahead, play that.
While Bill looks this up, guys, just take it in.
I have so many fucking bands on here. And it's all like one song, two songs.
Sorry, you're about to start laughing anyway, so.
Holy shit.
It's a minute of this.
Oh, this is terrible. I don't know what to call this. It'd be like the opposite of like a ringtone. Like you just never want to hear this.
And it's all
Holy
every single one of those
shit.
is a dude. Oh fuck.
What?
Can we pause this real quick?
Why?
This is work.
Oh, yeah, I will try to talk as much as I can while I go through this thing. Do what you gotta do. But yeah, this is unfortunate. So on my Spotify, I'm really shitty about keeping up with bands, and I tend to just keep 1-2 songs, which makes this whole trying to find it very, very difficult. But I'm trying my best, guys. I'm sorry. If at some point, Burning the Fucking Masses, that's the name of the band. Holy shit. I think Burn the Remains is actually Chase of Warhorse's old band. So that's a plug that they didn't need. But yeah, let's see. Now that Jack's not here, I can give you guys some plugs if we want. So for those of you that don't know, I do furniture restoration with my dad. It's a family-owned business, and I finally got around to making an Instagram for it. So if you want to see some restored furniture or repainted cabinets, if I feel like that's a niche crowd to check that out, you can head over to Fay Furniture Services on Instagram. Only a couple pictures, although by the time this airs, there might be a bunch more. That's just me and trying my best as an old man to network and be on social media as best as I can, because I already do it on this show, which is another great thing. If you haven't started following us on Instagram and you're into the show, I totally highly recommend to check it out, because I'm trying to do a thing now where 2 things actually with the Instagram. One, I've been putting about 1 minute long clips of episodes to kind of give you an idea where we're going to be talking about, which although 1 minute out of a 3-hour episode probably isn't coming close to giving you an idea, but at least I'm trying to give you a highlight of something funny and maybe it'll spur interest if you're not already interested in the show. On top of that, trying to do better about putting visual aids that we talk about on the show, because even though we have the camera set up, sometimes you can't really see what we're looking at. So hopefully I'll put that on there, because I know we did an episode with Arton. We made a joke about him being behind a fence, and that was I posted on our page. Although I was fearful of putting hashtags on there because I really don't want to attract the wrong crowd to the show. So hopefully you guys saw that. I got a laugh out of it. What else did I want to do? Oh, and then the other thing I do on Instagram now I'm trying to be better about is people that we follow on there are people that have been on the show as well as bands and stuff. So if there's somebody on here that you really like, go ahead, go look at our people that we're following if you're into whoever is on the show, and go ahead and follow them as well if you're into that. Welcome back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No, it's okay. It was my chance to plug stuff, mainly Instagram right now.
Did you find that band or no?
Burning the Masses.
Okay.
Burn the Remains is actually Jace's old band from Warforged, which is why the name kind of like stuck.
Okay, Burning the
Masses is fucking awesome. And they were super fucking young when they did they have 2 albums out, and the first album, which somebody's going to be yelling at me. I believe the first album is Mind Control, but I could be fucking wrong. Unless it's, I think it is, just looking at the album cover. And the other one is Offspring of Time. They do a really cool thing in the beginning of Mind Control. It's the...
that was Media Scare, by the way.
Yeah, that was them, yeah.
That. Okay.
Who are now, like you said, they're not defunct, but they're under the umbrella of Media.
Century Media, which is now a subsidiary of something larger too, and all of those got bought out by something.
Well, it's funny because like we did that show, the local. I don't know if we ever talked about that. The Local H show that we did for Mike Jacobow, who used to work for Century Media, but jumped ship because of the whole buyout, and ended up going out to California, and now he works for who's the Faceless On and. Sumerian.
Yeah, Sumerian.
Yeah. So he works for them now, which is a huge fucking label. Because I'm bigger than most, for metal.
That's not affiliated with, like, even Metal Blade now is owned
Is that
by
under something?
Yeah.
No shit.
They got bought fairly recently. So.
Isn't Victory defunct, or is that still going? That is still going.
Last I remember, Victory was like getting sued by all their bands and shit. Like
it's always
a
disaster. Something. I've only known one person that's like talked good about Victory.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's the Jungle Rot dudes, because they've been on that label forever.
That's right. So they probably have some weird grandfathered in thing where they were one of the first bands they signed. So
maybe, or they're just comfortable with like the setup.
Yeah,
they probably got a better deal because they've been on the label for so long.
Yeah,
or
at that point figured it out. And,
what's his name? What do they call him? Like Tony Victory or whatever. I'm sure at that point.
So it's just
don't want to talk shit. Yeah, whatever.
Some nonsense. Yeah, that's not what this place is about anymore.
It's three fetches talk shit.
Guys that are doing better
talking
than
shit. Yeah, like isn't that like
we're
such
punching upward and not punching down? So.
I would not want to do that.
Yeah,
there's kicking a dead horse. Like why?
That type of thing. So.
It made me think like, fuck, I don't want to talk about that guy anymore. Yeah, we'll skip along.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, talking about Squiggly.
Squiggly.
That's what I call him now, Squiggly.
Yeah, Jess had to call him that. Just
talking. Yeah, it's funny. Talking shit. I mean, it made me reflect on I'm sure we've done it. I know I've had guests on here talk shit, so to speak. I'm throwing up air quotes for you listening. That's really not the idea of the show ever. I mean, it happens, like
I make some jabs in the back.
Yeah. I'm sure I've done it. I definitely did it. I did it like. It was one of the episodes we did together where I was talking about. I'm not even going to bring the name up again just because I don't want to promote them. But I talk mad shit about them. I see them all the time, and but I don't talk to them.
Are they aware?
No, they have no fucking clue. They have zero clue that this show exists. And even if I can't imagine anybody I know getting to them being like, "Yo, this guy was talking shit about you, and you see him all the time whenever you do shows." But there's two ways of talking shit. There's one which Squiggly did, which was like this very unsubstantiated
scattershot,
like just buckshot of a fucking insult. Which is why I didn't get insulted, because I was like, well, none of that hit the mark other than the fat shit part. And I was like, yeah, I got some weight on me. I get that. That's easy enough to throw at somebody.
I earned it. It's been a long time.
I'm 34.
Coming.
I worked on this, and but then there's the one where it's like you do have a personal connection in some way that allows you to be upset and talk shit more or less, which I felt like what I said was, and anytime I do, like, I don't really like the idea of blindly talking shit unless it's like for the sake of a joke. And I wouldn't do it I guess I would do it on here, but like, I think hopefully it comes off like somebody's like, oh, that's funny that he would say that. And like, obviously hopefully there's no sincerity behind some of that stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, who doesn't like to hear shit talk and like laugh about it? I mean, I've done it a million times,
I mean, oh God, that is how I knew I was definitely, my vacation's done.
Yeah, work calling.
That wasn't even, over. Work is closed right now, but that was the alarm company because one of the door sensors triggered. So
shit.
I'm first on their call list.
Okay, yeah,
so
that makes sense.
the reason why it's all big, and I was like, I gotta take this, is because they're already dispatching police once they're making that call.
Holy shit, is everything all right?
Everything's fine.
Okay, it's like a false alarm.
Yeah, it's like in it's a back door of the building that has been having issues.
Kinda
like
janky.
Yeah, when we put the alarm on, we have to bypass it just to kind of get through it. Probably shouldn't even be mentioning that. But,
Nobody knows what you do on
but
here.
like, yeah, but not even what I do. Just literally like
Where
if,
and-
if they
yeah,
caught
yeah.
wind that I was just like, yeah, skip that and
Go in there, yeah.
But it's an external alarm. It's one of the external doors, and there's been an issue with that one. I think it's like not flush with the sensor itself, so like the
gotcha.
slightest thing will jar it,
Fuck it
kind of
up.
deal.
Gotcha.
So, but because we bypass it, that kind of skips over that one. So if anyone,
Oh, somebody turned it
so
on.
let's say somebody opened that door, like that door wouldn't necessarily go off if we bypassed it,
Mm.
but then as you walk in, everything else would trigger. So this one was just, we didn't bypass it. Somebody just closed it and went off. And
Gotcha.
then, I get the call. And then I have
Fair
to be
enough.
like, no, immediately she was like, so it's this direction on the door, blah, 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 blah. I was like, okay, is it zone? And she was like, yes. And I was like, that we've had trouble with. You can skip it. It's the only one. Great. Cool. Put it on test.
Just worried that like
Nah.
next episode's like it got broken into.
Then I would just come in and be like, I don't have a job. Because they now know, like, they have their call
Jack's
logs.
looking for a job.
Yeah, they called that guy and he said, don't worry about it. It's fine. Call
He
him
said
up.
it was fun.
Yeah, I had to record a podcast.
It's all gone.
Oh, fucking A. That would
Fuck
be,
that.
yeah, that would be great. If you want to talk about sacrifices for a show, and I'm not even a full-time
Not
player.
worth it, man. Not worth it at
Yeah,
all.
exactly. No, it'll be fine. It's
All
not
right.
the first time that's happened. So
Fair enough.
If it like that and a whole bunch of other ones,
Right. It would
I'd
make
be like, we're done. I gotta go,
like-
and I'd immediately be
fair enough.
yeah. So, but we're
That's
okay.
funny.
So, goddamn.
Well, on that note, shall we call it?
Yeah, Considering I
I'm
definitely
bummed that Dave didn't make an appearance, but
I
that's
know.
okay.
But I'm shocked that I even had this much in me. I figured I was dead to the world walking in.
You did.
So,
You
like,
did good.
all
You,
things considered. Yeah.
You made it through in
Perfect.
one piece.
Oh man,
Yeah. Anything?
never.
Never. Any Instagram things that people should check out at all?
No, not a goddamn thing.
right.
If you guys are interested, Tool put out a first.
Oh fuck, we didn't
single.
talk about that, but
I
yeah,
know.
like it's crazy.
I
that,
still don't know if it's cool to talk about yet, or if he's still,
Or if he's-
if he's fully
it's
Me
over.
Too'd, or if it's like a way.
I don't know. I feel like.
And
there's
also,
been
by
a-
the time this episode airs, the album will already be out, so
Well
it doesn't
out,
matter. Yeah,
yeah.
So Tool when we're recording this, Tool just released Fear Inoculum, the title track off the
Yeah.
new album. That's now been out for a month. So
But as far as like what happened with Maynard, well, not what happened with Maynard, what Maynard did, I think is probably a
the
better way of saying
accusations
that.
against,
It seems like that kind of got brushed under, but now it's coming back because
The album's out.
Album's coming
Yeah.
out, and they're in the light right now.
there's
so
some
to speak.
extremely woke people I know that are losing their shit about
Oh
this.
yeah,
So,
I've seen it on Facebook.
Yeah.
People like talking shit, and
Yeah.
maybe rightfully so, maybe not. Who knows?
I mean, I truly can't really go on this anymore and try to defend people that have this smoke around them because I've had it bite me in the ass. R.
yeah,
Kelly.
it's a gamble,
Yeah.
for sure.
Like I had a
try
whole
to-
episode where I was like, yeah, but R. Kelly does good music.
right, and now
And
look,
now
it's like,
that's
oh
aged.
fuck, yeah,
and even that, like,
sucks.
I knew that at the time, and I still was like saying it. So like, it's even fearful of me to be just like, I just want to listen to the music. Like, you can't do it. Like, music gets ruined now
Well,
because everyone's a fucking monster. So
It's funny because like I was telling you and you didn't know, but like, so maybe people don't know, but Tool is like one of those few bands or artists, if you will, that would not put their stuff on a streaming site like your Spotify, your iTunes. It's just not on there.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, people do that. Like fucking Prince did that for a long time,
Mm-hmm.
which really sucked, but now it's back up because whoever owns his estate put it up. Awesome. But so Tool just dropped all their albums on there, as well as like the EP or something.
yeah,
Like,
it's all on there. Yeah.
it's all up on the streaming sites, and because of that, all their albums were in the top 10 most played albums of the week or
Yeah.
day or whatever.
They all charted.
which is fucking crazy. That
Yeah, just
They're-
because now people are walking around and this is the only way they listen to music.
right.
So
of
they
course,
basically-
like I mean, I did it. I like because the only reason I was telling you, the only reason why I even checked it out was somebody was talking shit on Facebook, not about what Maynard potentially
Mm-hmm.
did, but what just like fuck Tool, like who gives a shit that they're streaming or something like
Yeah.
that. And I was like, oh, they're streaming. I was like, oh fuck, I need to hear Hooker with a Penis now.
the
and
exact
like
opposite thing of what the point you were making by posting that, it completally backfired on you.
Oh
'Cause now
yeah,
people-
I love it when that happens.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the funny thing about like shit talking is like, and that's why I didn't want to bring up that band's name because if I don't like them, I'm not gonna promote them.
Yeah.
Same thing. If you want to go look and find the episode where I talk about it, I don't even know which one it is. Go ahead. Good luck. Find that backlog. But
some would argue that the Milwaukee incident was a shit talking thing.
well, Gobo would definitely argue that it is.
Exactly.
Which is why
by the
he's
time this
coming on
episode-
the show.
Yeah, by the time this episode drops, that'll be squashed. So.
Right. So previously, if all goes well, Gobo had defended himself in the great Milwaukee debacle of 2019.
That spanned episodes 101 to
multiple
106
episodes,
of this.
all of which he's heard and all of which I get shit for every time at practice. He's like, oh yeah, the Milwaukee show. I was like, oh, I want to talk about it.
Oh, I'm so pumped.
He goes, we'll save it for the podcast. I'm like, oh shit.
That's
All
an
right.
exciting one.
Watch, I end up getting kicked out of Something Is Waiting after that. Like, that's what happens.
Talk
on
about
here.
a long play then. He was really waiting to kick you out.
Just to
get
do
on
it
this.
on here. It'd be funny.
Rescheduling and
I'm sure, yeah, just to get...
kicking you out
give
wasn't
it-
important
yeah.
enough to miss SummerSlam,
Right.
but he had
But
to,
he just had to get it.
yeah, he had to watch the wrestling, but yeah.
I'm sure he's going to ream me, if you will, about it.
I have a lot of questions. I'm very interested in just hearing. Now we're planning an episode that's technically coming out before this one, but I want to know all the minutia of like putting that type of shit together and working in that. I'm kind of interested. So.
It's just like any other show, I would say, like setting up like an out of town show. Because honestly, I don't think Gobo had much power into what went into it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not like a hometown show where he can set it up and be like, yo, we're playing with these fucking bands.
Yeah.
We know it's going to go well. Those, you know, honestly, if like anybody else in the band set up the show, I'd be probably not necessarily talking shit about them, but they would be the one getting the quasi blame of it. Not that I've been blaming Gobo, but even though it might sound like it and he might feel that way.
Every
who
episode
knows?
we go out of our way to say we're not blaming him.
Yeah, I keep trying to reiterate that, but he keeps giving me like side eye. So
So, okay.
we'll see
We'll
what
talk about a long
happens.
play now because he's going to think it's over, and then
And then this is gonna come back up. He's like, motherfucker, you won't stop talking about it.
Goddamn. I bet I get some shit too because I'm the one that's on every time it comes
help,
up.
Yeah.
So.
You help push that. But yeah, nothing to
No, not now, not never.
plug. Yeah, like I said, if you guys check out the Instagram for either Faye Furniture or this show, the show being a fun one just because I've been putting up 1 minute clips of episodes, which has been fun to do. It's kind of
like
cool.
those.
It's difficult because it's like, what part do I choose that doesn't ruin the punchline of the episode and is interesting enough in a minute section?
Yeah.
Very difficult. Not as easy as I thought it was going to be. It was easy the first time, which is why it inspired me to be like, oh, I should keep doing this. And I'm like, oh, fuck. Really like dug myself into something.
Yeah.
And like try to edit as little as possible because it's such a pain to do all that stuff.
Especially when you're trying to find, you're trying to find a 1 minute block in a 3 hour thing. That's
difficult.
Seems like a
You
teaser
know?
to, yeah.
Right. But it's, I guess it's worked. It's funny because like some people I've talked to are like, oh, it's hysterical. Like that clip you put up and maybe like, oh, fuck, I got to check out what that episode was
It's
about
working.
that he wouldn't have checked out
Yeah.
normally.
If 1 minute can have somebody devote 180 of them.
right.
to
Or even just
listening.
a play. I appreciate
Yeah.
it. You know?
I mean, all of it counts.
like I said, I don't go in this expecting millions of plays. I go with it expecting 0. So every day you guys surprise me and I appreciate it whenever we get it like a play.
Even if it's the same 6 people.
Even if it's Squiggly, I do appreciate it. I don't
think
think
it's still-
Squiggly is listening or watching the show anymore. He disappeared.
Oh, God. If only he knew he has a name now.
He's got multiple names.
Thanks,
It's
Jess.
YouTube Joey, Squiggly,
Squiggly Joe.
Kid Hollywood. I guess. I don't
Oh,
know.
God.
Fuck that guy. No,
Chicken
this is
Kiev.
the one time I'm like, fuck that
You know what-
guy.
you know
Where
what,
I
I'll say
finally,
it. Yeah.
this is far enough away from like when this all happened. No, but thank you everybody as usual. Appreciate you checking it out. Yeah, we'll see you next week.
We can't promote anything because we don't know what'll be coming up next. So,
Yeah, because we are recording this in August. This is coming out sometime in September, give or take.
yep. Bill will happily and hopefully safely be on tour when this is.
I'll be in Europe at this point. Hopefully posting pictures on our Instagram to show you the crazy, wacky adventures I'll be on. Probably not. It's so touring is sad.
so much downtime.
Let me show
for-
you all the bathrooms I've pooped in.
There you go.
Just do that instead.
Yeah, it turns into a Rate My Shit website. So hit her in the shitter, slap her in the crapper.
That'll be our first promo.
Huzzah. Cool.
Bye, everybody.
Goodbye. Hey guys, it's me again. Thanks for tuning into another episode of Nothing's for No One. Please feel free to hit like, subscribe, you can comment, you can share, do all the fun stuff. Let people know that we exist as a show. There will be previous episodes and subscribe buttons linked in various parts of your screen. They are popping up as I say this sentence. Click those links, like those videos, comment accordingly, and please feel free to support in whatever capacity you choose. We love you. Bye.
Perfect.